This platform is independent, and we wanted to work with everyone across the spectrum. So folks are invited to share what they know, and the viewers makes their choice, and we ask the questions, and we give the just the opportunity to answer.
This craziness, man, I do not care. Why am I so anti-establishment? Because of what I've seen the establishment do to people. That's why I cannot be pro-establishment.
Power is in the hands of the people. And it really did. What we all witnessed is the government, they knew that they were heading in the wrong direction. They knew Gambians are speaking in the same voice.
What law in the books that says the government has power to come out and go after folks' private citizens' properties and demolish them because somehow the government interest?
The only way that we can salvage our country is when everybody gets their hand dirty. Don't sit there with your expertise and just to procrastinate everything that people say or pontificate, what everybody says or does. Let's get our hands dirty.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Another Sunday for the people, by the people. I want to say Ramadan Kareem to every Muslim out there. And yes, happy Lent to our Christian brothers. Welcome to another Sunday. So now, Pop Samba, we need to keep it calm today. Calm.
We don't want to here.
We don't want to. I'm gonna be Ramadan la, and everything is supposed to be very that spirit, and then the spirit of Lent. It's about civility. It's about spiritual connectivity, if there's a word like that. Brother Marong, we missed you, man. We really, really, really do. And as we had your voice from afar, you were still part of the. We really do, though. So how you been?
I'm doing good, Father Mo's doing good, man. How you doing? Happy Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak. Happy Lent to our Christian brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. But it's been, it hasn't been, when I was a young guy, boy, ori and so they made chops a bit in lane. I remember we used to go to Spalding Curve. I have some other guys that they were really into this orikir. Got that affair in like, you can't announce it because if that happens, when you go home, all the good stuff, and so to avoid all of that, don't you bother. How you have to rub your lips down, make it look all kind of affair bangla, korgangla daiknu. Pop Samba, I'm sorry you've done orikir before.
No, I used to be a very good orchid. The interesting thing, you'll always have been in Dubundau, Yabate Bugade. He would be the youngest in the household and would fast, and everybody would come. So, but yeah, happy, Ramadan to everybody who is fasting or observes it, and happy Lent to the Christians that are observing it too. So, interestingly, they all, fell on the same day. Somebody was, they were saying that this may happen. But it's interesting. I think Gambia would be very quiet. Offices would be very, very empty now because some women normally they lay by 2 o'clock for Ndogo. I think the Christian women too, maybe as soon as the Muslim women pick up their bags to go and talk on Ndogo, maybe they will just pick up their bags and follow them. So, but it's one of those things.
So do you support that they should give them special for the women? Isn't that kind of not in line with this whole?
No, I don't. The interesting thing, why there is no productivity in our work this thing schedules in the Gambia anyway. But the men, they leave the office and go and do whatever they're doing. So people go to office at 2 o'clock and go home at 10 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, they're out of the office. So, but
the question is, should there be, based on how our family structures are, that women do most of the cooking? I mean, most men don't. Let's call it for what it is. So should there be a special consideration for the women to get off early so that you want them that's the whole thing. You have issues with that?
Yeah.
And why?
I'm paid to work. I don't do that at my job. I go to work, scheduled work, but everybody must do it. The president too cannot just leave his office and just sit on couch and go there because of very core or so. And the thing is, it's not only about very core. This is what goes on around that country. See, workplaces the whole time. You take breakfast for 2 hours, lunch 2 hours, and all that. So there is no productivity. And I believe that, in fact, government wastes so much money paying some people for work that they do not do. They get their salaries, but they don't do the work. But
let me let my brother come in here, my spiritual brother, and see. I mean, what's your take in that special consideration, Brother Marong?
I don't know about special consideration.
Like women getting up early during month of Ramadan?
I don't think so.
Are they also supposed to get up early?
If you're gonna do that, you're gonna do that across the board. How about those who work in an office setting? How about those in the front lines making it happen at the plantation or assembly lines? A private sector. So how are you going to do that where it's more equitable across the board? It's very difficult.
You are very smart and fair
you
guy.
I think this should be something that.
But Musa, they cook lunch too. Should we also allow them don't come to work until you finish cooking your lunch for your husband to come to work? And leave early to go and cook dinner for the husband? It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it does not.
Samba Jao and Brother Marong. Again, another Sunday. And of course, we always have partners. And Global Properties is on our sides, making sure, helping us to bring this show every Sunday. Thank you, Global Properties, for everything that you do.
No deposit, flexible payment plans, and lots of discounts. Get your Lakeview apartment today.
Lakeview, Nilan Fai. Thank you for supporting For the People, by the People. Brothers, tonight we're having this group, BNT Movement, they call themselves. We'll be having them in the next few minutes. They'll be joining us by one of their members called Basiru Njai, actually. And they're going to tell us what their movement is all about. Is that political season again, Pap Samba, Brother Marong? In 2026, we'll be going to the polls. And everybody is talking politics. And Pap Samba, did you see the interview with Garme? And the unfortunate part is I did that interview almost 3 weeks ago. I almost forgot about it. And you know how politics is. A lot of things have happened since the interview. And I kind of enjoy watching it because I kind of forgot about it. Normally, I don't usually go back and watch anything that I say. I don't like watching myself. But this one, I had to. But bro, the comments, oh my God, they were brutal. I mean, really brutal. And the one that was very brutal, Pop Samba. And that's why you see me wearing a hat today. The guy said, this guy with his ugly head. I'm like, seriously? I went back and I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, you know what? The guy is right. My head is ugly.
No, it was an interesting one.
The only good thing though is my wife thinks my head is cute.
And that all that matters anyway.
All that matters. But interesting commentaries though. And I mean, to be expected, you know, the usual go-to Musa Jeng the hater, Musa Jeng the tribalist, all of that. And when I listened to that interview, I thought, oh my God. No, I guess I can't judge myself. It has to be other people that are watching it. But I thought it was fair and balanced, like my brother Neddy would say. In fact, you listen to it.
Yeah,
And you come to my defense.
yeah, no, I did. My first criticism is you cannot have an interview in Wolof. This guy, the whole interview was pretty much in English. You know, that's why I agree with Esa Jaula. You see, you think here after on Judgment Day we'll speak English. Or but it was a very good interview.
You're right about that. And I'm trying. You're trying like that.
No, it was a very good interview, and you spoke from a position of authority in that you were there, you knew what transpired. And I think what people also need to learn to understand is you now support a group, a movement. You cannot go there to an interview and speak badly about them. Your goal is to also, when you are asked why are you supporting this organization, you have to tell them why you think they are the best person in the world. Right. Just like any UDP person that we bring here, they will tell us how they think Dabo is the best person in the world, or any Doi person, Swaibu, and all that stuff. So that is a normal thing. What frustrates me sometimes is when everything is attributed to being hate or tribalism. It's like, come on, move away from that nonsense. Yeah. But my biggest beef, though, you know, your troubles do not stop with you. I woke up yesterday and I got a WhatsApp message from a journalist in the Gambia with a quote and say, well, can you pretty much expand on this? I'm like, expand on what? So I read it. I'm like, I don't remember ever saying this, but maybe the last time I was on the show, I said something. So I went and watched our show, the whole show. I said, I did not say this. Then I'm like, this was Musa Jeng. So I contacted Gajigo, the journalist who put it up. I called him. I missed him. So he called me back and said, you know what? I am so sorry. I just realized that I mistakenly attributed that quote to you and not Musa Jeng. Maybe the Ramadan is getting on me. I said, that's just Musa Jeng and his troubles. But the funny thing is, I was enjoying the comments. Some people were all over me for something that I didn't say. Some people who were attacking you when you were having the interview were saying, you know, Pastor Samba is always so consistent. I'm like, okay, I hope you know that this was not Pastor Samba, this was Musa Jeng. You know, but Usman, what's the guy's name again? Buba came and corrected it and put your picture, you know, and said Musa Jeng said this. I'm like, well.
You know, I read some of those comments. I'm like, okay. So now this is not about the message. Because some were saying, oh yeah, this shows Pastor Samba's consistency. Different from this fake Mujahid. Like, oh. Maybe next time when I go for an interview or make some of these crazy utterances, I'm gonna hide behind Coach. The last
Don't hide behind me.
I am the one with the ugly head and he's the one with the cute head. So you can't. I don't know whether you had time to,
No, I did not. I saw the clips where Garme, you know, I think like 3 minutes, and that's about it. I didn't watch the whole interview, but, you know, about the cousins, you know, they said, yeah, Musa said all these things, you know. But he says where they were saying what's up with the 30,000, you know, that's what they were asking, man. The registered 30,000 and the correction at IEC. They're saying, you know, I got a text yesterday, said, what's up? Are you going to ask Musa that tomorrow on your show to explain that a little bit? What's the issue with that? You know, I said, sure, I'll give him the high table and for him to dilate on that one a little bit more. And also the biggest, I'll say that, I'll say the gaffe by a spokesperson. Barobert, the president de la Republic, meeting with Mayor Bensouda and the offer of VP and the Minister of Trade, you know. So did you listen to that too?
To what?
Came on statement. That's why you see when Rohi came and said, "Oh, my brother, I'm here. I also want to be vice president."
Why is that a gaffe?
So did he?
Huh?
Do you know anything about that?
If Talib has said that, this wasn't the first time we're hearing it. Kemo basically saying that he was there. It's not a gaffe, either you saying that he's lying or it was untrue. What they are saying is the man was offered to be the VP or Minister of Trade. As far as I know, I wasn't there, but Talib said it, and then Kemo came and said that actually happened. As to the 30,000, what they call it again?
Votes, supporters.
Supporters. Now, you have to understand, when the movement was formed, forms were being given and people were, because I had to go back and ask them and said, wait a minute, I don't understand. There's a disconnect. If we had 30,000 people that actually fill out and join the UMC, and those were the 30,000 that we were going after those people to register, and they did say that they submitted 28,000 votes, and all we needed is 10,000, how could, the arithmetic doesn't work. And the explanation to me was absolutely very clear. There was sloppy work. When people were joining UMC, they'll come to, let's say, for instance, Sarian Marong, and you put Sarian Marong, because the requirement is, and then your voter's card and the constituency, CRR, all right? And again, the whole goal was recruiting people to join a movement. Where the sloppy work came in, when it comes to the IEC, they have other requirements. And that has to be followed to the letter. And that wasn't done. And that was the correction. They called them and said, look, you cannot do this. Not only do you have to have the name of the person, his ID, voter's card number, and also when it says, and that's where this KMC, whether you say KMC or Canifing, whether you say Western Division, it has to be the constituency itself, Birkama North. It has to be Upper Salem. It has to be Lower Salem. In other words, all they did was send it back and said, wait a minute, in as much as you guys sent 28,000, all we're saying is, these are corrections that you need to put together and send it back. And then, of course, there was the problem with the party colors. It looks like PAP, and the one that UMC, they were very much close, and we said that also has to change. So those were the issues. And then there was the problem with the name. Obviously, you can't say UMC and then at the same time unite. Again, sloppy administrative work? Yes. Could they have been much more deliberate and go through the process and make sure that this is what IEC? Absolutely. I don't see any problems. Do I believe what some of the people are insinuating, that they just say 30,000 and it never happened? No, I don't think so. But I understand the politics of it. Really, I really do.
Here is my thing, Musa. When you present yourself as something new, something different, doing it the right way, you have to be very, very careful. Do due diligence in whatever you do. Because people hold you to those marks, to those remarks. And that's what happened. You remember when CA came and make all the talk about how they were different from everybody? And in fact, throwing jabs at these old parties and how they were operating, that they were going to do it differently. And when they went to the IEC and there were issues, what did the people say? We told you. So what I'm going to say here is, of course, there's a lot of talks. The fact of the matter is the IEC cannot deny anybody the right to register a political party as long as that person meets the requirements. Your movement, I believe, has lawyers in it. And my advice is, there is no need to rush. Sit back, cross all the T's, dot all the I's to make sure that you're not going to have an issue. Because you are coming and telling us you are presenting something new, something different, something more transformative. When you start making elementary mistakes, then it makes you look mediocre. That's my thing. I think the whole brouhaha But and one thing too is sorry, what's your name?
No, go
Sorry.
ahead.
The other issue is the heading, the headline. You know, newspapers, you have to have these headlines, is so misleading. Because they were not denied the right to register. They had been, because this is nothing new, because they have said this before, that the IEC had asked them to correct some of the mistakes. And I see the deputy chair came and said, no, of course, it was not a denial. We just asked them to go and rectify the mistakes that they make. But I think if I were UMC, Unite, whatever the movement's name is,
that's I think that is very unfair. I mean, you know what the name is. And I mean, they have come and they have explained.
The IEC is still the IEC is still not sure of the name. What I'm saying here is, whatever it is, go back to the drawing board, sit and look at these things.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. That is absolutely fair. I mean, we already accepted that. Absolutely. Was it sloppy work? Absolutely. Could we have done it differently?
Don't filibuster. Don't
But
filibuster.
remember, Unite is not running against God Almighty.
One day the mala light light be off nothing.
I didn't know God Almighty had a nakalatura. Nita family said Kurang with them off in Atlanta. Continue, Sarian.
Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, you know, it's like you poke my brain, man, because I was gonna use his own words. Something new. I'm gonna something new, something transformative. This is new. This is the new thing in the Gambit Club. We're gonna do politics differently. So I'm glad you touch on that. But I think he said, oh no, Talib himself said that. I think here is the question, and I want Musa to come back and explain this. If we're saying we're gonna do something new, and now the timing of him meeting the president, did he do it during when he was, the organizing secretary of UDP, and when? And I think where I have a deep reservation is, how come this is just come in? When Talib said that, he said he was offered. He didn't say, I met the president or something like that. So I think if we're gonna say we're gonna do something different, something new, fundamentally different, we gotta be squeezy clean. And I think that's where I want Musa to kind of hit on the head. But I think I'm with you. If you need to do your homework, you need to clean up. And if you're saying I have 30,000, I mean, I think having 10,000 out of that and make corrections should be easy. And I also think what also raises and they are more vulnerable to criticism is when I saw folks like Menteng and Ibrahim Adiba going out there door to door, having papers, and it seems like they are doing things all over again, the process. And I think that is, and I don't know what Musa's stake is on that, but it doesn't look good. When you
to me though, Sarian, the meeting could have been a chance meeting, because I think I've seen so many occasions where Talib, maybe in some settings, have met with the president and all that. So this is why I believe that maybe that is true, because I know at some point they were struggling looking for a vice president.
Yeah,
and I know at some point they were struggling looking for minister of trade. So I can see that easily happening. Just like I know MC Cham at one point, they met with him and tried to lure him into coming to NPP. He said no and all that. So it could have happened. Now, the timing, of course, because when you raise these issues, you're bringing scrutiny. Because people will ask, okay, now explain, go further. I've heard Talib insinuate that if I wanted, I could have been this or that. But he had never could. This was the closest that they've come to saying, you know what, I was offered such and such and such. Can I see this government offering that? Yes, they're desperate. They would offer anything to win. But again, you raise those issues.
Fair game, man. Fair game. The cousin says, then buga leer, coach. Cousins, they are saying na leer. because he said this is what's being said, and I think we just need to have an engagement, because it can't be one-sided. It has to be fair and balanced. So this is something that I think they will learn and rectify mistakes. But it raised a lot of questions, especially if they are transformative and it's something new. So I just want to bring that for the record. And I'm not so where the quarter is.
The other thing that is interesting though, is that you would have thought maybe the government, the NPP, they would have taken this thing, offense to it and say, no, it did not happen. But it looks like the opposition, Sibopam, they're the ones more preoccupied with this issue than any other thing. Now, at some point, the opposition, I think, will have to make a decision whether we are going after Barrow or we are going after each other. Because I think the focus is centered so much on the opposition parties, butting heads, than, because even if you look at the 50 million that Barrow the NPP is giving to these women, the opposition have not even talked about it that much. They just touch it a little bit. Let's say, for example, the time that we've spent on whether this party can register or cannot register, Unite or UMC, to say it right before Musa gets mad, is not even spent by the opposition in questioning the origin of that 50 million. Because that to me is inducement. But again, it's politics, and at the end of the day, hey, let the big boys wear the big boy pants and duke it out. But it's interesting.
Hey, what happened though? Did he lose?
No, I think something happened because I think their power went out. When you live in a third world city like Atlanta and its environs, such things happen. The electricity is run by NAWEC. So that's the reality. But Sarah, I wanted to bring something happened. I've been watching Kex News, and I saw something that caught my eye. Recently, there was a shooting at one of the nightclubs in the Gambia. Some kid, his name is Buhari, something, I forgot the last name, was shot by another young man, last name K, I think about 3 times. So I was following the case because it was interesting. Because in the United States here, in DC, let me see, in particular DC, when a shooting happens at a club, they are going to shut down the club right away. In the Gambia, it's a different reality. But again, so I followed the case. But to my surprise, last week, when Kex filed his report, I saw that the case was being tried before a magistrate and was being prosecuted by the police. Now, my expectation was that the charges would have been attempted murder. Because if you shoot somebody at point blank 3 times, allegedly, that anywhere in the world, in the United States, in the Gambia, in China, in Japan, anywhere, it's supposed to be attempted murder right away. But the case is being tried at the magistrate court. So I had to go and look at in fact, read the new criminal law that was passed, criminal procedure code or whatever that was, not whatever the law was, to see, okay, I hope they didn't change something. So it didn't make sense to me. But when I reached out and asked, so the accused was charged with causing bodily harm. So that's why it's been tried at the lower court. And I'm like, that does not even make sense anywhere in the world. You cannot shoot somebody allegedly 3 times and you're only charged with causing bodily harm. Because anywhere else, and I know we have all these laws in the book, illegal possession of an firearm, attempted murder, you have all these charges that could have come. And I'm like, does this even make sense? And then I saw another case similar. I don't know what they're doing. This lady who poured hot oil on the supposed boyfriend's face was also charged with causing bodily harm. She was convicted and sentenced to 4 months in jail. when you have kids who are arrested with a bag of weed and sentenced to 12 years in jail, 10 years in jail, it doesn't make sense. And I hope that the police and the Ministry of Justice will look into this, because definitely you cannot undercharge a crime. That's what I'm saying. It does not make sense to me, especially this case, the shooting that happened. It does not, where you just have the case now being tried by a magistrate in the lower court and being prosecuted by the police. This should have been taken to the High Court. It should have been prosecuted by the Attorney General's office. So I don't know what this is. I had tried to call the Minister of Justice to ask him about this. I have no interest in this case. Like, I don't know the accused or the victim, but I just feel that it is something that is really worrisome. Definitely.
Yeah, I saw the discussion too, and yeah, I think these laws are like very, very old and outdated. Because like marijuana and what was the other drugs? They said they were criticizing one of the is it the judge or the magistrate who had given a hefty
find somebody who was, I think, was cocaine. The other one, the one with marijuana, was sentenced to about 12 years in jail. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they gave a description of how the drugs are categorized, according to the law, and I think that's something they have to look into. I really think marijuana, it shouldn't you shouldn't send someone to jail for 12 years for marijuana charge, and while the cocaine and other drugs have lesser charge. So, but I really think the Minister of Justice needs to look at this and work with, the NAMs to correct that. It's an old law.
No, they changed it. They changed it.
Oh, they changed it?
Yeah, they part a new criminal listing law that was passed. I think it was in September of 2025 or so. Because I was just reading it the other day. They changed this thing. It's just that because the police sometimes will bring charges. It's the charges that they bring.
Oh, okay.
Because if it is like attempted murder, it cannot be tried at the magistrate courts. It has to be tried, because now what they do is they give the lower courts 28 days to determine whether there is enough evidence for the crime to be tried at the higher courts or so. But this case is being tried fully at the magistrate courts. It doesn't make sense for somebody who shot somebody 3 times anywhere in the world. No. That needs to be correct.
Paramos, we lost you. What happened?
Nawek.
Yeah, for some crazy reason, the power went out, but we are back in business. I mean, it sometimes do happen. I kind of I really wanted to hear your take though, Sariang, and I missed that part of it. I know I know what Pasamba said, and I agree with the gist of his argument.
I was just emphasizing what Coach said. I mean, I was even mimicking you when you said, we need something different. This is totally transformative. This is totally new. We need to take a total different direction. And I think I wanted to push back on the thing that he met Barrow. Talib himself said that. So what Samba was saying is, I said, in what capacity? Was he when he was a male? Was it after 2021? I mean, where did they meet? Right. So I think the cycle goes in. People started asking these questions because we're in the election season, right? But obviously you see in Rohilo what she wrote, it has a lot of sarcasm, but it is what it is. But why now? And also, what was Kemo's message in that? I mean, what was he trying to show? And I think those are fundamental questions, and especially the administrative part. What I was saying is, yes, they claim they had 30,000, and it's only 10,000 is required to fulfill IEC's requirement. But when I see Ibrahim Adibas having papers in the street, I'm maintain saying they gave a more voters card and some going door to door, it seems like they're redoing stuff, not correction, Musa. I mean, if it's 30 and you only require 10,000, I mean, are you saying the whole 30 or more needs to be corrected? I mean, I guess that, and yesterday I watched Kemo's explanation on Ibrahim Asso, and it's not very convincing. It is not a good position to be in.
I mean, that's your take, and that's unfortunate. I think it's absolutely very convincing, and this is how I see it. Like I said, when they were basically out there, the beginning of the movement, there was the excitement, and people were filling out a form that I want to be part of this. Now, obviously, the requirement at that time was you put your name, your voter's card number, and also the and the constituency. They were not taking into consideration the IEC requirements for a voters, to register a party. Now, even if you have 30,000, the way they were filled out, there were anomalies that needed to be fixed.
Now, and I get that, Musa.
Hold on. Like I said, was it sloppy? Yes, in regards to fulfilling the IEC requirements. Did they have 30,000 people that joined? Absolutely. It's a fact. I was very critical with them, even behind the scenes, asking the same questions that you are asking, not with being cynical, saying that, no, I was just asking and said, wait a minute, we had 30,000. How come we can't just take 10,000? But again, all the 30,000 were incorrect. It did not fulfill, let's say, for instance, some will say Unite, some will say UMC. And IEC is saying the party is Unite, so everything has to be under Unite. The explanation, unless and until...
No. Musa, I get that. Now you are saying the whole 30... No.
30,000.
Now you are filibustering. So... No.
You're saying that you are not convinced.
No, but hold on. I have a point to raise.
Let me get back to...
No. What I'm asking is, are you insinuating that the whole 30 has errors? They need to go back and correct the whole thing in order to fulfill IEC requirement.
Like I said, the 30,000 people joining in UMC did not necessarily fulfill all the administrative requirements from the IEC. Remember, and then there's also the issue with the party emblem itself. There's the issue of using Unite and UMC. There's the issue of people saying KMC are not canifing. And IEC, their requirement is very specific. It has to be either canifing, and that's what it's supposed to be. Can you guys keep on? Let me answer this phone.
I get that.
Oh, Musajeng.
The chief strategist.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, people will always have to ask questions. You come and suggest that you're doing it better than anybody, you're bringing something new. Any issue that you have would be raised. Because definitely expectation is you would have taken your time and did due diligence to this. Because this is a very important matter. Registering a political party. Definitely. It is. I think they will come back, and I hope they will learn from their mistakes and move on to make sure that they will not be repeated. But
I think that's where, Coach, that's where the argument should center around. The fact that I think behind the scene, all the homework, the reviewing, making sure every requirement is met, rather than going back. And I think that's what it is, because it shows how serious, you wanted to push forward. So I think people asking these questions, didn't UDP have errors when they filed petition at the court? Yes, they did. I get that. But the fact that this thing needs to be, it's an open conversation, and we need to have a dialogue at it, especially if the bar is set so high. And what the cousins are saying is, I say, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to ask Musa again to dilate on this and feed us with information. So, that's what it is.
and it's just like you mentioned, it's just like when the UDP made a filing at the courts.
Yes.
And then there are errors, or the case is dismissed based on technicalities. The question is raised. This is a party of lawyers. So how could that happen? So, and this is the thing. These questions will always come, and it doesn't matter who it is. Because whatever you present yourself, however you present yourself, people will be expecting better results than whatever, you may explain all you want, people may not listen to it because it's like, only. We saw it with CA.
Yeah.
That's why nobody talks about CA. Nobody takes them seriously because everything that they told us that they proved that they were a billion miles away from that. They called incompetence, they called all these things, and all of a sudden now, a party that came and told us that even in their constitution, you cannot run for more than 2 terms, but you now have your secretary general and all your party members defending somebody to be running for a 3rd term. But anyway, it is just one of those things. Musa, where are your guests? Are you talking to them? Oh. Jeng. Is Jeng listening to me?
Yeah, I'm on mute. I'm trying to talk to them to help them join us. So you guys keep talking.
So are they also having technological problems too? They are supposed to be the new kid in the block helping us. So, but anyway, it's just one of those things. Gambia Sabargo Tasla, is just, everything is just too much in that country. And I hope that at least very soon we'll get it right. Because definitely it's a country, I don't think that is on the move as we think. And I don't think people care that much about it. But Sarian, you were in the Gambia while Musa is waiting. What is your assessment of, is the Gambia on the move? Because a year ago, that was the reaction we had. So not from you, but
Well, here's the thing. I think I've seen improvement, and the last time I was there was 3 years ago. And even in terms of electricity, even if it's gone, it come back, and there's not issues of load shedding, too much load shedding. That is one. And the infrastructure wise, the roads, he expand them and he's building them. And I have an opportunity to talk to what's his name, Ibrahim Silla.
Did you see his belly now?
Huh?
Or did you get to meet him?
No, we set up time. He's my neighbor, but we didn't get, because the time we set up, I think they went to we're gonna meet. They went for a tour. He was up country, and I came back. So I think maybe he was thinking that I'm gonna come back the week later, and I left that Friday, so we didn't get a chance to meet. But I met the minister of tourism in person. He's a buddy of Musaji, and they all grew up in James, Senegal, and he talks about tourism and what their goal is, especially for the diaspora. They think diaspora can be valuable partners in marketing and convincing folks to go to visit Gambia. And one of the key things that I highlighted during my conversation with him, because the wife is like a good friend of my wife, and they're very close. I said, is the flight thing? Now you can't come to Gambia directly, SN Brussels, Dakar, dancing. How come Gambia could not negotiate a flight that comes from the US, maybe Senegal, then to Gambia? And he's talking about, things that the policies that they are rolling out and things in the pipeline. But I think Mr. Yob emphasized that, based on at least an hour, 30 minutes talking to him, he says, he doesn't consider diaspora as a competitor. They want to elicit their input, and they wanted to work with them in terms of marketing and in terms of recruiting folks, to build that structure. And Musa's piece where he's talk about Lamin Lodge, something came up. Yeah, and he also also said, he says, yes, Musa brought a good point, but also that facility in particular, as far as his ministry is concerned, they wanted to, create an enabling environment whereby private sector can come in and thrive. But he talks about politics of it, the nature of it, people who own it, and all that. Government intervention is very, very minimal. What they could do is facilitate and create a vehicle whereby at least they could thrive. So he talks about that a lot, but he also talks about he didn't shy away by talking about investigative journalism, not getting the right information out there, and sometimes they are more of agitation than finding the right information and sharing with the public. And he says he's very open to talk to anyone and provide information. So I don't know, that's him. He said that. I'm not putting any weight, but otherwise, people I had chance to talk to other security folks. So I think they are trying in terms of curving out crimes and fighting, all that. So with the limited resources, there are folks who are very dedicated service members who really, really put their heart and soul into making sure that people's lives are protected. And you've been doing that. And in fact, they talk about this illegal migration. They ramp up. They've built structures. They've built form teams. And they are very, very serious. I mean, Nyomi told me the Nyomi was a breeding ground, and now they think they have set up an apparatus which is very, very robust to go out and dismantle their entire network. And this is through collaboration with Senegalese intelligence and all that good stuff. And I think even, was it yesterday or day before, I saw something that they went after them and all that. So I think there is a progress in place with all the challenges. And then I think there are folks who are very dedicated. So that I observe, and I think, we just, it's gradual. If I had to rate him, I would give him a C+, so that's what I'll give him right now.
So just a quick response. Our guests are already here. I mean, look, when I went to Lamin Lodge and I took those, videos, for me, it wasn't necessarily to be critical of the government per se. All I was saying is, look, if you're looking at our tourism policy, and I'm not talking, I'm sure they have nice policy prescriptions, what we need to do. I get that. But if you're selling a destination and you go to Lamin Lodge, I'm telling you, you will not be coming back to Gambia. Or you go to some of these supposedly destinations to visit. I only went to Lamin Lodge. Some people are telling me, you'll be surprised if you go to places like Bufore, if you go to places like Katong. So all I'm saying is this. If we want to sell Gambia as a destination, it's going to take a collective effort, not only from the government putting together policy prescriptions, but all of us. And at Lamin Lodge, I'm telling you, I say, give me that place, or you give it to any independent-minded person, a businessman, they will turn it around. Some people call me and said, look, I've tried to get this place, but it's so embroidered. And yes, Abdu is right that it belongs to a private individual. But look, if you are a government, you have a regulatory mechanism that you can put in place in terms of, look, for us to give you license to do this, it has to fulfill this thing. You can't just put together some crazy, look at that place where it looks like. I mean, that's a dump, if you want to call it that. You are not going to use that and say, telling tourists to come and visit this place. It's a disgrace. So if you're a government, you said, it doesn't belong to me, but you know what? I'm going to make sure that do your job, the necessary licenses to operate it as that, because it falls seriously very short. I mean, that's all I'm saying, and and I know Abdu, he's right. I grew up. I think he said something.
No, dangam.
But he said though they are working on creating an enabling environment, and specifically
Dude.
No, hold on. Hold on. We gotta. No, hold on. I'm not taking any. Hold on. That's the first time I met the man. But this is what he said. He said they will continue to reach out to the diaspora. I don't know how they do that. I'm not involved. And he says, it will be very, very important for diaspora to be part of the food chain in
Right.
ensuring that attracting folks, and Musa, the dynamics of Gambia, man.
Oh,
You want
absolutely.
people, you want to do something, it's gonna take forever, and you're gonna jump high and low. And I think that is the problem.
What does creating the enabling environment, what does it mean? I mean, it's just a slogan that you put out there. We're creating an enabling environment so that there will be development. I mean, that's just political talk. All I'm saying is this. If you look at the diaspora, let's say December, I'm not Gambia, went to the Senegal Street, I see these white folks, normally from Scandinavia. The amount of money an average Gambian visiting Gambia in December, limo spend, Bilai will kitabi tourists you didn't spend.
No, they don't.
They will not.
Oh no, and Musa, can I tell you something?
An average Gambian, your Sariang Manong, Sumala Lajon spend almost $10,000 on a trip like that. And again and again and again and again. So these are the people that I will give priority and come up with, like you said, they want to reach out to the diaspora. We want to see a real reaching out. What does that mean? What does it look like? I mean, these are folks that are coming. The average Gambian will not spend less than $5,000 to them Gambia. Bilai will kitabi.
No, you go there, spend your money, and then left $1,000 if you pay the airport with pull nipsy.
But I'm just saying, because we're talking about tourism, bringing foreign exchange.
But you're talking about tourism most. No. This is what I wanted to add.
You must slow down.
Do you know that they count us? You let them Gambians. The tourism number includes Gambians who are Gambian, American, Gambian, British, or whatever who are traveling. Because I had him answer that question with Aliou Cisse on QTV. So we are also counted as tourists when we go.
Man, I think Abdul is a very smart guy. He's from James, Senegal, of course. And I think his heart is in the right place. The problem with the government, Moine, there is that lack of being bold, being transformational, and do the things differently outside of the box. Lolo mo fa nekut. It's just the routine. The minister saying policy prescriptions until doomsday, going all the way back to the 70s. Lin need more someone who's gonna come in, think outside of the box. But you know what? I'm gonna do things differently. And this is where I believe when you guys are accusing UMC or a Talib Ahmed Bensouda's presidency, it's the kind of boldness, the kind of doing things differently that they will do. When we say we're going to be transformative and we're going to be bold and we're going to be different, that's what we are talking about. Not some administrative work, how you fill out a form. That's not what we are talking about. On day one.
You know on what?
Day one.
You can use all your talking points.
If you cannot fill forms,
we stand firm in our conviction.
Fix your problem first.
We are going to be different.
You are not different yet.
You're not different yet because the status quo remains.
Right, we got our guest here.
The status quo remains. The transformation, something different.
You cannot even properly fill a form yet. Cannot be transformative.
Let the moderator take charge now. All right. Thank you, President Jai, for joining us. BNT, they call it. Political movement. How are you, my brother? Yes, we had some technical glitches here and there, right?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's also the same thing here. We're finding it difficult to connect, definitely. We're sorry about that. We've been waiting, but on the whole, it's the browser we've been using.
Yes,
definitely. So
that sometimes it makes sense to use Google Chrome.
Yes, we were using Safari, but then we had to use the Chrome. Yeah, we had to use the Chrome. Yeah,
absolutely right. It can do that.
Yeah.
Browser can definitely do that. Hey, so let's jump into it because I know it's kind of late in the Gambia. It's like almost 6:30. I'm not something young again. So we got to
definitely. I think we're even 13 minutes to the Nogu time.
Exactly.
But it's okay. I have some dates with me here, so and a bottle of water, so I'll be fine.
So Basil, I'm going to hand it over to you. Most people don't know BNT. Even my colleagues were asking me, BNT, what in the God's name is BNT? And I'm sure a lot of people that are watching, they don't know you, they don't know BNT. Help us out.
Thank you very much, and I thank all of you. Samba Sign. Sering Marong, Coach Samba Jau, and also you, my uncle Musa Jeng. I greet all of you, and also thank you for having me. I am Basiru Njai, a member of BNT, and at the moment serving as the chairman. So, Belief for National Transformation, it's not a political party; it's a movement that is, going against the strong man concept of politics in the Gambia, and instituting a strong system, not a system of development, but a system of politics. That is what BNT represents today. Just to take you a little back, I think we've spoke some time ago, I think 6-7 months ago, concerning the ideology of Belief for National Transformation. BNT is Belief for National Transformation. Some time ago, we, a kind of people that sit, discuss, drink attire together after work and all that, observe certain irregularities in some of the things that are happening, or in all the things that are happening in the country. So during those time, 2024, around February, March, just around this time, 2024, we decided to contribute to the day-to-day affairs, not contribute because obviously we've been born and brought up in the Gambia, schooled in the Gambia, been working in the Gambia, and also everything. So we've been participating into the day-to-day activities of the country. But what we meant by that was to say, okay, what can we do? Because I'm going to work, I'm being paid, I come and share with my family, my dependents, and all that. But now we wanted to engage into some social activities, development activities, and all those things. And then we agreed to say, okay, it's important you have a bit of understanding the status quo in the Gambia. What if you were to participate? Because then we observe regularities, and then as people that, because my background is economics, my background is research, and I'm a market, expert. So, giving all those things that we've been seeing in the market, we say, definitely, why not we engage ourselves into, one thing or the other to see how best we can participate. And that was when we established, a research team, I would call it, because then there wasn't anything like Belief for National Transformation. Then we were just trying to say, okay, let's get out there, understand the development, blueprint of the country, understand why these contradictions that we are seeing. The policy is saying this, but the economic impact is not there. The resources are out there, the yield gap is there, the output in the market is not, the efficiency we expect as market researchers is not forthcoming. So these were the things that fueled us to say, okay, let's establish something. And then we started with a team of 5 people, and then we began to do research. And that was when the work started. We reviewed documents. If my memory serves me well, it's sometime 2 years ago. Around 80 to 84 policy documents, trade policies, finance policies, every sector of the Gambian, economy, and also the Gambian development logic. So then, after reviewing that policy document for almost, I can say, 3 to 4 months, we felt the need that it's important also we do consultation with the people. And then we begin to do consultation, we've mapped out certain communities, just based on people that want to participate into the consultation. Why we felt that? Because, for example, right now, if you fall sick, you go to the hospital, most of the time, they can take the blood sample, do the check and all that. But at the end of the day, they also ask you whether, what the results are showing resonate with the issues that you're facing. So we wanted to test this with people. These are some of the things that the documents are telling us, or our research is showcasing, but also what are what is the people's take on some of these things. So then we begin to map out. We met with the informal sector, like tailors, fish folks, I can call it. Common people, government workers, even policy experts. We've met different groups just to try and understand where the problem is. Because for us, it's very, very important for one to understand before you begin to say or do anything. Knowledge is very, very important. It is what can guide you. It is what can pave the way for you. And then if you don't have the right knowledge, and it's a problem. And one thing that I would just say here is, in the Gambia, the problem is you can meet economics, you can meet development experts, but they will understand development, but most of the time from a perspective outside the Gambia, they wouldn't understand it in the Gambia context. What is the development? Because during those times, I could vividly remember, you know, you go to the university, you talk to even university students who are studying development, you ask them, what's the development footprint the Gambia undertakes? And, you know, it's a problem. They wouldn't know exactly the Gambia is operating a Euroa program, that is the Recovery Focused Development, NDP. So these are some of the things that we are showcasing, you know, during our research. Very, very interesting. Some of the things that you think are the causes of the problem, the genesis of the problem, were never the issue. Okay. So after all this research, to sum it up, to sum it up, you know, we categorize our finding into, because then just a quick one, we've done the policies. We've done the consultation. We also looked at the development logics of the Gambia since independence, starting from the adjustment programs, you know, going into all these programs that were ever rolled, Vision 2020, coming down to the PAGE, poverty reduction programs, and all of these things, down to the National Development Plan and also program, and also the Euroa, which is the recovery focus. So we just have an idea what has ever been taught into development. How do they want to fix the issues? And then, you know, we segregated the findings. Some of it we called it socioculture, some of it we call it economics, and some of it we call it political. So now this belief for national transformation, it is an informed, you know, political movement coming from the political recommendation. Because now, after the whole thing, we have seen that the political problem in the Gambia, that people are saying, you know, we want to change leaders, and we want, you know, to have a new somebody or whatever. But for us, the problem is bigger than that. Today, our ideology is you bring Adama Barrow out or off the table, off the seat, you institute any other person, the problem is going to repeat because of the vulnerabilities. These are the facts. So we said, okay, we want to establish something called belief for national transformation that go against
we're gonna get into the middle of it, and I'm sure most of my my co-panelists will ask the questions. I mean, just very quickly. So let's kind of, you know, summarize some of the answers, because again, like you said, we don't have all the time. So he said, politics as usual needs to go. So the inspiration of is, look, you guys did your research, you found out that, you know what, this thing is not working. So it needs a total overhaul. And you first said the strongman syndrome needs to go and to be replaced with a system based on your research, right?
Yeah.
And you guys said that you are not a traditional political party. It's a movement that draws its inspiration, you guys said, from the Bantaba concept, meaning collective deliberations. Am I kind of quoting you right? Where you guys get your inspiration?
Sure. You're quoting. I think you're quoting right.
Right, in a collective decision making. So the system is not working. It has to be replaced with. How do you guys go about doing that? Like you said, if we remove Adama Barrow today, replace it with Musa Jeng, it's going to be business as usual. So how do we overhaul it? How do we go about doing that? Especially bearing in mind, in 2026, December, we're going to go into an election year. People are going to go and vote. What is the movement going to do? How are you going to participate in this process? Especially after going through your research, knowing that the politics of that thing has to go. How do you guys are going to approach this?
Yeah, so I think that's a very good question. Just to summarize, as you said, there is no time. What we've planned to do, and we've already started doing, it's to engage the communities. Because it's structure first, then we have to think about the culture, which is going to take a lot of time. And then, you know, with transparency, we think we're going to be there. So that is why right now, I think not even now, but we've opened that some, 3-4 months ago, started to, bring youths on board. Because you would agree with me, if you do the numbers right now, you know that youths are the deal in the Gambia. Absolutely. And then, if we are able to get them on board, that is definitely something that is going to trigger a very good, force. That would be, a kind of a population very informed that can, make the right decision so that we can get to where we want to get to. But like I said, the ideology here is to say, what is bringing a system first? System is to say, in the Gambia, there's even a bit of there is some percentage of people that say, okay, there is a system, obviously, but we are saying it's not operationalized. The policies are there, but what the policies are saying and what is happening out there, it's like the two, it's like day and night. So what we are saying is, when it comes to the movement, we first of all establish a structure, which is to say every constituency in the Gambia, it's going to have a coordinator, which I will tell you right now, we've gone almost a quarter way into that. For most of the constituencies in the Gambia, we're able to institute youth like us. And I will tell you this, it's very easy for me because I'm not doing the podium politics. I'm coming down to the level of the youths. I'm a youth like them. I have the same constraint. It's affecting me directly. So it's easy for me to talk to them. And that is why, most of the time when we go to any of the communities and visit the people, they are the one coming after us and say, I want to be part of this. Even before we started this meeting, I have several calls that we are saying, where are the forms? What can I do? I want to be part of it. Because everybody is fed up and tired of this political, promises, patronage and clientelism that is not working. So we're presenting to Gambians something that is new. We are saying, I'm not building the movement around Basiro. I'm not building the movement around Babukar or any of the 15 or 20 executives that already we have. What we are doing is the problem that the Gambia is living today. It's the fact that, these ideologies are built around an individual. And if that individual is no more, you even be talking to people, telling them this, they say, you're very right. And they can even give you example where a political system fall out or is struggling because the guy that it was ever built is no more. So first of all is the structure. What are the structures? To ensure that we have a governing council. And this governing council is going to be a set of people that would be, within all the constituencies in the Gambia, not selected by any other person, but people that want to volunteer, people that want to come on board and, and be part of Belief for National Transformation. So once we have these people instituted into every region with a structure, without a structure, the important thing is the ideology. Like I said, Belief for National Transformation is established, is an ideology-forced movement, not a personality-forced movement. We do not have somebody who comes with an idea and want to bring people to sell them the idea. It is research that say, okay, if you want to fix the Gambia problem, you have to move away from the strong man and institute a strong system. And then the system now, we develop the system even prior to doing anything else. That is to say, okay, the ideology is to say unify Gambians, so that the land prosper, the river connects, and we build a system that protects everybody. That becomes our ideology, and that is more or less our vision or our mission. So now that ideology now becomes a map that is guiding all of us, and that is now the structure. How do we going to instill this into the political space? Is to ensure that we have youths that are within every constituency that are all buying into this ideology, and it works. So after we set up the ideology, we said we need principles, because every ideology every map needs routes that is going to connect to the areas that you want to go to. And then what are the principles? We say institutional supremacy. The institution must be above everybody. And we said, number two, we are saying meritocratic stewardship. That is to say, whatever position we are giving, if we're not giving to our friend, we're giving to its friend. And we say, what next? We are talking about, let's say, radical transparency. That is to ensure that, because we want to build a culture that is very new. We know we're going to have certain bottlenecks because it's something that is new and people always are afraid of change. But what we are going to do, it's transparency. It's going to be a tool we have with us that is going to make the, build the culture that we want to be. And the last principle that we have for the Belief for National Transformation, it is to say, there is intergenerational, equity. That is, whatever we are going to do today must be, protecting the same resources so that the next generation are going to have whatever. And then after having all these principles, then we have to have now, the setup. And the setup is going to be call on all these people coming from all these constituencies, and then we select, a group of, n numbers, maybe 30 people that are going to be represented by, that will represent all the constituencies, all the local government areas, and then we come together, and then this is going to be the leadership, the consensus leadership,
for us to kind of connect with some of your answers, and I'm sure a lot of people that are watching, I mean, let's kind of, just summarize it and keep it short so that we can ask a lot of questions. You will still have this time But so Pap Samba or Brother Marong.
Yeah, Basiru, thank you very much for joining us. The first question that I want to ask, just yes or no, is your movement geared towards running for public office? So that we be
Yes.
clear.
Yes.
So you're running for public office.
Yes.
And what about if I make this argument that what you're saying here is nothing new? I said you said it's new, so it's going to be a challenge. In 1986, there was a political party formed called DOI. They were talking about the same thing, transformative agenda. Let's focus on ideologies. Let's have strong institutions and all that. In fact, as late as around 2021, there was this young man came. Now he is defending the status quo, Dr. Cisse, with CA, espousing the same thing. We're sitting here giving Musa Jeng hard time because he has this movement, Unite movement, that is also talking about the same thing. So what makes your idea so unique and so different from all these other things that we've been hearing for the past 40 years?
Thank you very much. I think that's not the first time we've heard this. Anywhere we've talked about this, people are going to come and say this is never new. But looking at the parameters that we have used to analyze this, we think it's new. Because when we were analyzing this, we first of all looked at the grassroots level, the grassroots participation level in each of these setups that you have made mention. Number one, the leadership success, that is the success of the political movement or the political party. We also looked at the benefits that people gain from the movement, because we don't just believe in you setting up a political movement or a political party and be promising people that if I become power, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. We believe in something that's going to function now. So also we also have the view that when it comes into the assessment of the development gaps, the political gaps, the power gaps, definitely our lenses or our findings or our conclusions definitely differ. Like I said, we've used a lot of time to do this research to be able to. I would say this thing: if supposedly if we were able to conclude that any of the existing political movement or parties were exactly presenting the same thing, definitely we were going to either join them, or we would have the intention of doing a unitization along the way. But that is definitely not the case. We believe those people have done a bit of system, but we call that development systems. But here we are talking about political systems, not development system, because I think this is a very small line that it's look blurry, but we can unbundle. There is development system and there is political system. So development system has to be building systems such that their development takes place. But we are saying even when we do politics, we ensure that it is every person within the constituency participates. And that definitely, when we do our, like I said, with the variables we've used to do the checkups, we do not see any that we can say it's exactly the same as what we want to present. And that is why we are saying the concept is new. And that is why we are here to say we are instituting a political institution that will be good enough, very active, pragmatic, doing research day in, day out, analyzing policies, analyzing development logics, and also participating, engaging with the communities, doing the bantaba like Uncle Musa just said, to ensure that the decisions that are made day to day within the movement are not made by Basiru or any other guy within the movement, but it's going to be a decision collectively arrived at through the governing council. That it's what I would respond to that, Coach.
Thank you, Mr. Sarian. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Basiru, for coming in. My my name is Sariang. It's not Serin. So Islamic.
Okay, Sariang.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Pronouncing it wrong. I have a brother called Serin.
No worries.
No.
So Mr. Njai, my question to you is, obviously, every movement or every political system, political party has a business statement and a problem statement. And you talk about research here and everything. What will be the motivating factor, or what problem position that you think by studying, by research, that your movement will design to tackle or diagnose the prevailing circumstances within our current political system?
Yes, I think if I get you, it's just you asking for the question to say what are our approaches to solve the strongman issue, the strongman problem, or the development problems. I do not get that part of it.
Either or. You're free to choose what you wanted to answer. But I'm looking at, if you're looking, because obviously your movement doesn't come out of vacuum. You've seen something and you want to rectify it. If I listen to you correctly from the onset. So with that in mind, what would be your proposition, or what would be your movement's proposition to solve those pending issues or challenges, either political or development issues, either way?
Okay, thank you. I think if you, first of all, when we started the research, you know, at political level, at development level, the problem is ever being the silo nature of things in the Gambia. In the Gambia, there is no communication that is happening in the political stages of development and the development stages of, you know, that is established to impact the citizens. That is one thing that we have spot. In fact, I will tell you this. Most of the problems that people would associate to the current government or the Gambia in general, it is as a result of lack of balance, lack of steadiness. And all this is because policies and programs, laws do not agree, the disjoint. That is the silo nature. In fact, I will tell you this. If you looked at our I can say the whole idea around belief for national transformation is to ensure that, because when you come into the political structure, you can have constitutions, you can have laws, you need institutions, then you need governance, and then you have the citizens being protected. And that is all. These are the 5 chambers in which the citizen can get what it needs, like from setting a constitution. So we are saying now all these 5 stages needs to speak to each other. That's one. When it comes to the development, also the same logic. You have the resources, then you have the structures, then you need the infrastructure, then you have the implementation phase, that is setting the institutions to implement, then the economic benefits the citizens will have. When it comes to this stage also, you would see that things are not speaking to each other, because the idea is, no matter how good a policy is, no matter how good a program is, it is having it is not enough. You need to make them speak to each other. So that is why in the Gambia, if you looked at the development logic in the Gambia, it's this. You have a ministry, you have the office of the president, obviously, then you have the ministries have departments have agencies and down. So it's like a vertical governance style, and it has big horizontal linkages. So this big horizontal linkages, it's the problem. It means these linkages, I'm not saying there's no consultation. I have worked for government. Sometimes they set validation, forums where different ministries will come and validate a policy, a law, or whatever. I'm not saying that. That is validation. They just need the rubber stamp to say, this is good enough to go, to get your signature to back whatever they're doing. But I'm saying, think people, set up structures and these stages that I have made mention, having them working together. So for us, our proposition here is, the lack of system here means you can have the different chambers of development, you can have the different chambers of politics, but they are not speaking to each other. And the reason why is because people are so much consumed into the individual, stages of development. Somebody is consumed into the infrastructural stage and say, I have built roads, I have given electricity, forgetting that infrastructure itself is not only physical infrastructure, there's social infrastructure, there is digital infrastructure, there's institutional infrastructure, but always consume into one thing out of the many things that are very relevant for people to. That is why you will see things will happen, but people will still tell you. If right now I told somebody, he was arguing that, look, the way you're presenting the Gambia is not true. I said, put 1 million in your pocket, let's go down the street. I will tell you before we finish the 10th compound, you have no money because of the problem people will be complaining about. So that is the fact. So we are saying our proposition is the silo nature of governance, the silo nature in politics. And now we are saying the only possible way to fix this is to ensure that these stages, these development stages, these political stages are working together. Once we're able to do that, Gambia is going to begin to develop. Right now, what is happening is very chaotic.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe let me have my break, because I think it's time to break fast here. It's okay. You can.
No problem at all. So my follow-up question is, what makes your movement so unique? Meaning, why do you think it really stand out among the packs? We have so many political parties. We have a movement, and this word transformational, something new, something different becomes a buzzword, and it becomes the order of the day every single day. But what makes your movement unique, stands out among the pack, and how is it been different? I want you to explain this in a very simplistic term. Why do you think your movement is different? And also, how come you're not joining the established parties and already there's a movement? What do you think is different? I mean, can you explain that to us?
We are pushing away the strong man and bringing a strong system. That's the only unique thing in the movement, because every other thing I will tell you revolve around this. Despite we understand Gambians are finding it difficult to understand what we mean by this. And then every day we would want to have the platform to explain to Gambians what it means. Like I will say, right now, Gambians in different constituencies are making, are part of the decision making in BNT, in Belief for National Transformation. That I'm not saying it's happening in every other movement or every other political party, but as per the definition of participation, how far they go, it is exactly not happening elsewhere. That's one. Number two, 90% of the issues that politicians are talking about are the issues that's stifling development in the Gambia. Well, that is, as a result, politics is not making the results that we all expect. It's definitely, we call them symptoms. We are not calling it the root problem. So now, if you are telling me, lack of coming together, it is the problem of the Gambia, we're saying no, lack of coming together is not the problem. Being able to present, presenting a face that say, look at this face, vote for this guy, it is what the Gambians cannot accept. So that is what that's the very different. We don't believe into the individual. We do not believe in that face that say, follow me. We are saying, look, because the logic here is every route to hellfire is paved by good intention. Somebody would say, okay, follow me, let me win the election. If I win the election, Gambia is going to be good. But that's what he thinks. But looking into the vulnerabilities packed into the box, how people need money, how people are unhealthy, how people don't understand the very greater mass are not formally educated. Yeah. So now, and also all those people that are formally educated, you can pick the percentage of those who really understand what it means, when we say development in the Gambia. So now having all those vulnerabilities put together, because there are a lot of uncertainties. And Gambians, if you become the president, they come and say, put your legs on my face, I can accept it. If you're able to guarantee me that those uncertainties I will be facing in terms of funds, in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of caring for my people, So now we are saying, following that ideology, say vote for me, it's the problem in the Gambia. We should shift from the fact of following an individual, but try to establish a system. And a system is to say, look, because these are two things. The guy who is establishing a personality has an assumption, just like when you're doing research, has an assumption. The assumption is things will work, things will not fail. But for us now, our assumption is what? Things are going to fail, so we try to constrain whosoever is going to be the leader, such that when it fails, the Gambians are not going to suffer. Because you are here, you'll agree with me. Today is not the first day we are talking the Gambia. There are so many leaders who've passed. The intention were ever good, but once they go there, things spoiled. All because it's the personality. I can do it. I will fix it. That I syndrome is the problem. So what we are offering different is
Mr. Njai, I apologize. I know it's time to break, do iftar. Musa, how about with everyone's recommendation? How about we give him 5 minutes to break his fast and he can join us later? I mean, is that something?
No, if you don't mind, we can because I'm taking my water.
Yeah.
I'm taking my water.
We just want to make sure you know that. I mean, you can take.
Are you just trying to prove to the? Are you just trying to prove to the Jobbers that you can handle it? Oh,
yeah, but I think it makes sense. Because I just have my mobile phone here trying to do the azan. So maybe and I've been ignoring it. I think maybe let me go pray.
Pray Maghrib, then join us 5 minutes later. It's okay, we'll be here.
Okay. So let me go and pray Maghrib and then come back.
No problem. No problem.
All right.
Thank you.
You can do that. Interesting.
Interesting conversation. I didn't know it was a movement that also wanted to take the presidency. I think Gambia is. I have a question about that because I told you since I served as part of the coordinating committee for the Doha Congress. I think political parties have been shortchanged. So definitely the struggles that political parties go into organizing these mandated congresses. And then, people can just form their movement and say, yeah, you know what, we are going to run, but we don't want to do. Because you spend millions of dollars to organize it, and this is mandated. If you don't do it, you look at the IEC. They now say that they are going around the country to inspect all these political parties and their bureaus. Those that do not have it will be deregistered. So Mos, you want to mute him because I think there's a background noise coming.
It's not me.
No, you can mute him.
Mute him. Sorry.
Go ahead and mute him.
But what I also like about this most is that at least the young people, it's not like they've not been involved in Gambian politics there. At least maybe a lot of people are getting involved in the political process. It's good, But something must be done about these movements and political parties. Either give the political parties a break or mandate that, if you want to do this, you have to do it through a structure that would also be, joined the same way. Because I don't think it's fair.
I understand some of these young people. I mean, they're there in the system. And like all of us, we know that it's not working. The end game is to create a system where people will be able to get out of this poverty. Like you said, Doy has been preaching that. All these political parties. And when he said, and which I'm going to ask him, that they're going to govern through a governing council of 30 young leaders from each constituency. And he talked about governing just like we normally do in a bantaba. Let's say you go into a village setting. Most of the decisions are made at the bantaba where men, excluding women, they sit around and they basically talk about the issues of the village and how they're going to approach it. Now, if you really look at it from a governing like the system that we have now, the concept is the same. It really comes down to the implementation because the governing is kind of collective. Each constituency has a representative who is representing them at the National Assembly, who basically has a say on where and how the money is going to be spent. And then, of course, the judiciary will ask us an arbiter to make sure whatever the laws that we have in the books, everybody respects it. So the system may not necessarily be the problem. How do you implement it, or how do you? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much.
No, here's the thing, Musa. What Gambia does not lack, are good policies.
Exactly.
You know what we lack? Honest people to implement it.
Yes.
In the interest of the Gambian people. When they show you everything on paper, everything that they write. I was listening to somebody the other day, yesterday, Dr. Jan, who said that what we have, we always put the cart before the horse. He said, whatever Gambia does, when we write our policy and process it before any organization, they say, oh, Gambia is really on track. So on paper, it's always wonderful. But when it comes to the implementation, that's where you have the issue. And what the Gambia has a deficiency in honest, credible, and patriotic leadership. People who are interested with running our country are more interested in the positions that they hold than doing what is in the best interest of the Gambian people. Musa, you go to any ministry, go to any one of them, tell them policy this thing. If they give you a policy prescription for our problem, you will leave there and say, you know what, we have all this Dubai, this thing. Do you remember the Singapore dream from the PPP?
Yeah.
You know, you've also had it from Jammeh came with his own version of development policy. We have all these policies.
Now we have Yiruwa.
You have Yiruwa, you will have them. Tesito, you will have them. You read it, you are blown away. But the thing is, its implementation is the issue that we have. People must love the country. And this is why whenever we have people here, I ask them questions. Oh, I was a farmer. My father was a farmer. My grandfather was a farmer. I'm like, now you're a position of leadership. How come the farmers are still struggling? Because once you're put in power, you don't care. Like Falajai told me, crazy as he may be, that we have people, our people do not have a problem with development. They are more interested in developing themselves than developing the country. Because you give them a ministerial position within 2 months, they transform their whole lives, build new houses, do whatever they need to, because they know how to develop. They just do not care about developing the people. But, you know, it's a nice conversation.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Because, and again, I mean, he's going to come back. And because when everything is said and done, what I cannot glean from some of his responses, how are they going to participate in the process? Because there is a system. I mean, a system, like elections are going to be held. People are going to run for the National Assembly from constituencies. Are they going to participate in that process? Are they going to, basically he's saying that they have branches in every constituency. Are they really going to register this as a political party? Are they going to contest and having a presidential candidate? Because when everything is said and done, I mean, does the guy knows what he's talking about? Yeah, he does. You know, and I'm sure he must have done his homework. Yes. Did he do the research? Yes, he did. But there are a lot of people out there with ideas. And how do you go about really impacting? Because the system is the system. How do you change it? Unless and until you can come and win elections. I mean, another way of doing it is what Doi has been trying to do for almost 40 years. And that is that we are going to create awareness, because things are not working because people are not aware. As far as Doi is concerned, if you make people aware, tell them the power is with them and that vote that they have is the most important thing. And now, has that really changed the way people vote? I don't think so. Are people much more aware of the Constitution? Absolutely, because every Gambian, even if they're a grade 9 dropout, they know the Constitution, which is good. The awareness is there, but I don't know. I think it's much more complex and complicated. Really, you want to come and bring about change, you got to win first. I mean, and can you do it from being outside? Yes. Pasamba Jao has been trying to do it as an activist for a long time, especially this activism on steroids, and they haven't put a dent. So the government help fix the problem. So it'll be interesting. It's definitely, I think, I mean, the bus is back.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for the opportunity you've given, because at least now I can better, answer the questions. No, man soxna si ceebu jën la teg, waaye man dama ne ko bàyyi ma am si dama jël si ranxa bi tuuti rek, ma def si tuuti daxaar bi, ma am si ñaari kuddu rek. Ma ne ko, so that at least that is going to help for now. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are fasting. Anyway, Manglena win, but I think you guys are gonna have a better one.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so Luma, and I think what I was saying, it's like you know, if we looked at it in a very honest, if you approach things in a very honest and realistic way, right now in all the political, you know, movements, you know, in the all political parties in the Gambia, I'm sorry I use movement because that is the level we are. You know, you can hardly tell if any of them would be able to replace their leaders in the next 24 hours because of the strongman, you know, system. So for us, we are saying, even up to the 5th leader, we can replace as we are speaking, because we have that is how it is set up. Definitely, we have not yet disclosed to the Gambians the formula, but within 3 or 4 days, it is going to be available on our website, and all of you can get to our website. Everything that BNT stands for, everything that we will do, is because transparency is something that we don't joke with, because this is something that matters so much in the Gambia. In the Gambia, like I do say, we don't have problem of policies. We don't have problem of plans. In fact, the only thing is the development strategies do not, you know, it sucks. Why? Because, you know, it's not in line with our culture. It's not in line with our history. It's not in line. That is why we've even written a book called The National Identity. In that book, if you read, if you go to our website, you will see a summary of that material. But we have the entire book yet to be published. But if you read that book, you understand that most of the issues that we face today, it is as a result of, you know, not anchoring our development on our identity. That is why we've developed a model called the ARPF model, which is Atlantic Riverine Prosperity Framework. And in this model, we have divided into 3 phases. The first phase is the riverine system, which is the ARS, and then you have the terrestrial asset portfolio, which has to talk about the land and then how we are going to engage in the development. And then we have the youth demographic dividend, which is how we are going to inculcate youth into the development, not as setting them policies, but together with them, we can do things together. That is why if you come to that 30-member governing council, there are 10 seats that must be occupied by youths. And as we are speaking, we have a very young, you know, youthful group, very young, people that are below 25, people that are below 30, and you count them. Because what Gambia is getting wrong, it's designing policies without being pragmatic. That is why things are not working. In fact, that is the reason why, that's why somebody would ask, how do you ensure that these things, these fancy words you were saying, is not the case, you know, because this has been, every other guy who comes give fancy words and, you know, things never change. I said, because they are not pragmatic. I work for government. I will be very honest with you. I resigned my job as a chief economist at the Competition Commission because I'm committed to this cause. So this is something that we believe in. We have the energy, we have the discipline, we have the piousness, we have everything in tech. It takes for us to, you know, make this successful. And definitely the only thing that we need from people like you is the support. Because without the support, the financial support, the resources support, the guidance, definitely we will not it's not going to be successful. Definitely. That is what I wanted to say before you guys come on with your questions.
Thank you. Thank you. It seems like the iftar helped, and your voice become very clear, and your speech is kind of mellowed out a little bit. So good. Good on you. Good on you. Ms. Faramos, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So Basiru, you talked about this governing council of 30 young leaders that are going to come from different constituencies, correct?
Yeah.
And they'll be responsible for collective decision making. You talked about the situation that we have in villages like a Bantaba, where they will meet and then they deliberate and they make decisions. And as far as you're concerned, that will be against you call it the strongman system.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the system that we currently have, where every constituency has a National Assembly member, and they meet at the Bantaba called the National Assembly. And that's where some of these decisions are being made. I mean, why is that different from what you are suggesting? Why is it different?
Yeah, I just want to make this clear. That is happening at a national level.
Mm-hmm.
But we are saying at a party level. That is why when you say these systems that you were talking about already exist, I said no. In the way we are thinking about it, it doesn't exist, because that is at the national level. I can remember this model dropped in our mind when we were at Fasinjaga Choi, I can still remember discussing with a group of youths, and they have made mention of how difficult is it and how they are, the youths are not, into politics, because that is when we gather some of the youths and then we start to talk to them about politics, and they will say, no, politics, we're saying, look, but you need to be part of. So that was when because we spent some 2 days there, and that was when we began to even expand onto this ideology of developing. That was some years ago. So, but to tell you, at the party level, we are going to ensure that the selection of the leader. For now, we have been very careful, because we have people that for 2 years they've been working on this issue of we, not I, this collective leadership. That is right now is instilled in us. That is why anybody who wants to join Believe for National Transformation, and we want you to definitely take part in our governing council, you have to undergo an induction process. And we have you have to read the documents, you have to read our manuals, you have to also follow the take the oath of corruption and all those things before we can put you in. And once we put you in, we will allow you to digest these things, and we see it in you before we finalize, because people can see things, but is it in them? That's something else. So we are going to ensure that the how it's going to work is because we have around 53 constituencies in the Gambia, so eight local government areas. And if you go to Banjul, you have central, south, and I don't know what is it, north or whatever, 3. So you come to Kanifing, you have up to 7. You go to Birkama, you have up to 14 or so. So we are going to ensure that every of the local government area, you're going to have a representative into our. We are not forcing. It's not the alcalde that's going to select it. It's not the VDC that was selected. It's based on participation based. You want to participate in the financial transformation, you come.
That is not different from what the political parties are doing. Every 2 years, or some parties 4 years, they'll have a congress, and then they go through a process.
And that's the problem. It's going to be every 2 years. We are saying when, for example, now to come to that thing. For example, now if you have a
hold on. Let's calm down so that people can understand. What I'm saying is, what you are proposing, you're saying, for instance, you go to Banjul. People are going to be selected to represent Banjul to be part of the BNT, correct?
Yes.
So why is that different from what PPP is doing, or UDP is doing, or UNC? They just had a congress where they went into all these regions and people select their representative to the party. Why is that different from what you're proposing?
Yeah, so now, and when they select these people to be part of the party, okay, what's the next phase? Do they go with them? What's the next phase for us? Because that is not where we stop. We're going to ensure that you are going to be trained, prepared, and you can become the next leader of Belief for National Transformation. And that is what is unique. We prepare you. We're not just calling you to have your idea how to fix Banjul problem. That is not what it is for. We are saying when we picked you from Banjul, we instill the concept of BNT. We put you into an induction process and prepare you to, if you are voted by the council of the 69 representatives within all these regions, you are now going to be liable. You are going to be one of the possible candidates to lead Belief for National Transformation. It's not like, for example, right now, if you go to any of the political parties or movement, they have a leader. You have to come and then you clap for them.
Okay,
but we are saying you coming from Banjul.
Hold on. People that are listening to you, you resigned your job as an economist from the central government because you believe in this.
Yes.
I mean, people will see you that you are the leader of this movement. You're speaking for the movement. You're advocating for the policies and the prescriptions of this movement, just like any other, let's say, Tabak Reumi, Amadou Ka. I mean, he would basically say the same thing. This is about collective leadership, but he's the spokesperson seen as the leader. You are basically being seen now as the leader of BNT. Oh, you're not?
Okay. Now you ask them, if not you, who else? And I will tell you, and I will tell you this: I'm not the leader. I'm the leader for the movement before the Congress, and we are going to have a Congress. And when it comes to that Congress, I have the same equal opportunity than any other person within that 30 governing council. That is where the difference is. So, Basiru, you were saying here.
No. I totally disagree. All the parties, they have a process to select. They all do
And my uncle, I will agree.
You can
I will agree with you. I will agree with you because for most of the time, even after the Congress, the people that lead will continue leading. You agree with me. For all the parties, the people that lead will continue to lead. You've never seen a situation where somebody changed. They have the Congress, but still they lead. Because in essence,
hold on.
In essence.
Hold on, bro. Now, unless you guys have in your rules, either term limit, but what I'm saying is, Doi had a Congress. Halifa Sallah was the Secretary General of the party. He's no longer the Secretary General. Now it's Swaibu. Is that different from what you were saying?
But when was Doi set up? Was it not in 1986?
Okay.
How many elections did they have ever gone through? How many coalitions did they participate? Remove the coalitions, and then you tell me for all the time that Doi participated. If my memory can serve me right, within the six times, it was only 2 people coming on board. So I'm saying to you, these things for us we have the courage to say it because we accept it. For us, we want to solve the problem. And for us to solve the problem, we have to be honest, even if you have it on paper. But when it comes to the operationalization of these things, it doesn't exist. It's only 1 or 2 people that always are going to be chosen. That is the fact. So we are saying where we are very different from every other, and even that is what we are fighting tooth and nail to establish, is to ensure that whether it is Basiru, whether it is whosoever involved, it is going to be that 30 people that choose you. And there's going to be time. For us, we even say a maximum of 2. That means even if we select you in 2026 to be the flag bearer, in 2031, even if you are not voted by the Congress, if they vote you by the Congress, if the Congress vote you to be the flag bearer, that means that's the terminal point. And if you are unlucky not to be voted, that means you are just flag bearer once, and you cannot even come again. Because what we believe is, I will give you this in a very simple way. We believe the architecture might not be the tenant. We believe, the engineer who developed the aeroplane don't need to be the pilot. The pilot just need a manual to drive the aeroplane. We need to craft the aeroplane very well, and then we give the manual to the pilot. He drives the plane. He flies the plane. And if any time he's normal, we give the manual to somebody else. Exactly. So that is our ideology. That is the system we are talking about. Have a map, have routes, and have structures, and whosoever are selected, within the framework of these facts, you should be able to lead.
Samba, go ahead.
Yeah,
you can go through this.
Mr. Jai.
Yes, Samba.
Energy we after you eating. Here is where I want to come.
Okay. Yeah.
I've heard you say something. 2 things I just wanted to correct. PPP.
Yes.
Since 2018, have had different people lead it through their congresses. In fact, they have had the most competitive congress that anybody has ever seen.
That's true.
Secondly, the other argument that you made about who to select and how long that person should be selected, that is not original. Go and read the Citizens Alliance Constitution.
Hold
on. They have it there clearly stated that one can only serve as a presidential candidate for only 2 terms. After that, you will have to give way for somebody else. So that's not new.
That's true.
What I would want to suggest is, yes, you have ideas that may be different, but maybe you would implement it. Now, the issue that I want to raise with you, I hear young people every time. What guarantees do we have that, Mr. Njai, you've resigned your job to do this, which is, a lot of courage. that we will not wake up tomorrow and see Mr. Njai standing side by side with President Adama Barrow or President Ousainou Darboe or President Talib or President whoever is going to be the next president in the interest of serving the nation. Will you at any point, given what we know now, let's say the current situation, join the Barrow government in the interest of serving the interest of the country, or is that out of the question?
I think this is a question that every Gambian is asking, because when you interact with them, they see the energy, they see the concept and all these things. They would say, well, I'm just afraid that you're just going to be one of the other guys that, you know, cave. And it's something that is so worrisome. So that is why, in fact, that motivates us. I just want to say, I would not talk about some of the qualities of BNT members, because that would seem like we are trying to talk about, you know, we are very different also. But one thing I am pretty sure is, just like Olof Njaay mu ne fu ndox daan taa soo fa demee ba léegi fekk fa tooy tooy. Then I just want to say we cannot say, since every other person who passed through the line has to cave to Barrow, so you know BNT guys would repeat the same thing. What I am saying is we believe in this cause, and the reason why I joined government, I tell you this, because we have some understanding, and then we believe that you know, we can definitely contribute. So when we get to government, we have seen 4 types of staffs, and I will reiterate this. This is going to bring us a little perspective of what BNT really, you know, what they mean by, you know, trying to participate into the day-to-day activities of a country. There is a worker that goes there to just benefit. There is a worker who has a very good intention, but upon, you know, getting to government, would see that things are very imbalanced, and then he just does whatever everybody is doing. But there's another guy who gets to government, see that things are not working, and he quits. But the final person, which I believe it's the best government worker, is the guy who gets to government, see the odds, but try to manage himself to be the guy that mitigate because if you resign from government, you're going to give an opportunity for somebody at the wrong person to come and continue doing what they do. So it's very good for you to contribute, you know, into for the just pious people to contribute into the day-to-day affairs of the country. So that is very well. And if we do not have the conviction, we are definitely going to be there as always, as we were years ago, to be there, not being part of the people that pick the public funds, but to be part of those that are going to consolidate, especially, you know, trying to also impact other people that we work with. And right now, if you go to the Competition Commission and then you ask for Basiru Njai, you will only hear one thing. You know, he's a very just guy who signs 7 o'clock every day and leaves the work 4 o'clock, and whatever is not part of what he owns, he doesn't, you know, it doesn't exist for him. Everybody that ever interact with me, and you go and ask all the businesses in the Gambia, they will tell you the same thing. And these are the type of qualities and traits that we use when we select any BNT member. We looked at your track record, we looked at who you are. Now, when it comes to, because what Believe for National Transformation want to represent is this: I don't need to work, I don't need to join Barrow's government to be able to make the impact. I give you an example right now. Right now, we've done collaboration with the bakery industry, and we are trying to see how best we harmonize the process of baking, and then write a book, and then use that book and teach some of the youths that are out there who would want to love to join baking or would want to take it as an expertise. This is what I can do as a researcher. And this, I have the skill and I have the passion. That at the moment we are doing. And not only that, we're also trying to bring all the mechanics together, all the tailors together. And then if you looked at the vulnerable youths in the Gambia, that are those that are protected by the trade laws, the labor law, but in actual fact, it doesn't exist. You go to Gympex, you find these boys that are walking into each of these stores. But if you go there, they use them and they don't have any contract protecting them. So these are problems that I can fix. If whether I am with Barrow or, because I'm a researcher, I can participate. Right now, I have a consultancy firm, and which is established, doing research, data collection, data sorting, data analysis, and all that. I am never going to join Barrow in except if there is a kind of a project that I know if I facilitate anything, the Gambia is good. Because for me, I'm a nationalist. I'm a patriotic Gambian. I want to engage in everything that is going to see this country, prosper. So to tell you to answer to your question, the reason why most of the time when they ask us coalition, we say it's a trick. I'm an infant movement. I want to sell my ideology. Don't tell me numbers. I'm good with numbers, but now is not the time I want to use these numbers. I want to ensure that because the average Gambian is not mature to get to an election. That's the downside of democracy. Anytime you have the informed population, they vote the right population. But if you don't have the informed population, election doesn't make sense. So what we are trying to do is to bridge that information gap, prepare the average Gambian, make them mature so that we can have a critical voting population who are going to avoid voting for patronage, and as a result, we have the right leader. So what I'm saying is, I am never going to join Barrow. That is out of the line. For me, it's not even part of my traits to go against what I believe. We do not believe in the strong man. Unless if Barrow comes today and change the fact that he is the one that runs the show. If any time that he is able to institute a system that if I want to go to Minister of Trade to register my business, I don't need to know anybody. If I want to go to the Minister of Agriculture for a grant that is out there, I don't need to know anybody. There should be well outlined rules, well outlined procedures, and I can get to the ministry, get myself fixed, and go my way. If any time Barrow wants to institute such a system, let him count me in. That is what I stand for. But right now, if I want to join UMC, I have a problem. If I want to join UDP, I have a problem. If I want to join PDI or any of the political movement, I have a problem because it has to be exactly in line with what I believe, which I think it's not going to be easy because these things have been here, older than myself. So to answer to your question, I am ready to participate into the development of the country in using the BNT approach. But I can assure to you that Basiru is not a guy who cave because you put some dollars or some dollars on the table. That's not me.
And thank you very much. You've said some great things, definitely. And but here's my question, my last question. You talked about we need strong institutions, not strong men.
Definitely.
Let me give you an example. That was what Obama was preaching to Africans when he went to the AU.
Mm-hmm.
In the United States of America, they have an orange man as president who has now pretty much dismantled or weakened all the institutions that have been built over the past 250 years, where now he has a Supreme Court that was the most independent in some way, now has become his toy. They pretty much dance to his tune. They may reject him one here, but does what he wants. He is now the guy. We're talking about strong institutions. You cannot talk about a country, at least not before Trump, that could claim to have stronger institutions. Now, this is a guy who just decided to build his own peace council or whatever and said, I'm transferring 10 billion of taxpayers' money into that. I'm the CEO, I'm running it.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think? What guarantees do you have, especially given our society, that we may be able to build such durable, strong institutions that would not be just torn on its feet or on its head by a President Musa Jeng one day? Is there something that you think about too?
Yeah, I know when you looked at the constraints, that is, you looked at the future, you're very right because things change. But that is why the first stage is to build the culture at the movement level. The second stage, if we win 2026 elections, then we can now try to see how best we can have a roadmap towards changing the constitution in line with trying to dilute the powers. But I will tell you this: the only way we can fix this is through decentralization, which is something that the laws are very fine, but when you come into the decentralization approach, there's always a conflict between the central government and the local government. So we believe if we're able to empower the central government, at the moment, if you talk to experts, they tell you capacity issue. If you talk to the experts, they tell you, the issue of funds. Some local government areas have more funds in terms of what they collect and others. But if we are able to develop a model, that is why we have some, in fact, some of the people that are within the governing council are very good in this local government, central government, because they have been VDCs, of one of the, biggest local government areas, and they are part of us. They are helping us to look around how we are going to circumvent this problem of, not being able to connect the local government and the central government. I know it's going to take time, because if America is battling with that fact, talk less of the Gambia, because the Gambia, it's definitely trying to find its fits. It's a LCD, least developed, country. So, but what we can guarantee you is, it's about the mindset. For us, we believe if we are able to get to the head of the Gambia, if we're able to use our culture, that is why we talk about the Bantaba. Because Gambia, we had the culture. Look at how it could have been very nice. When we went to some of these villages, we do ask them, when the deputy that you have voted for comes here, did he normally table the bill before you discuss it and then he carries it to the National Assembly? They said, no, we don't even understand what a bill is. Look at how sad that is. You are representing the people. You go to the house, and most of the time, you know what happened? They give them travels so that they travel and they vote the bill behind their back. So these are. So we believe for national transformation. Believe we need to get to our culture. That is why we've developed this material called the national identity. We believe because in Allah ya'murukum bil adli wal ihsan wa ita'i zil qurba. That is what God says. Good conduct. Good conduct is the deal. If you do not have good conduct in you, it's a problem. But if we are able to get the right people on the right seats in the bus, and we are able to institute this concept, this ideology into the Gambian heads, it is going to be very difficult for us to have a president in the future that is going to come to turn the things upside down. I'm not ruling it out, but I believe that if we institute this system that we are talking about, get the people out there, because democracy, it's very good. We all cherish it. But when it comes into the enforcement of democracy, the critical mass, the people that can think, people who understand what is going on, they are the very people that can push for the right leaders. If not, you're going to keep voting for the wrong people. So that is what I have to answer for that question.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Marong. Sarian. Brother Marong.
Anti Geneva Momadon Wahalfini, Mota ma distract to this. No, I'm a little more on the menu. That's part of the discussion. So Manekoda Labal. Mr. Jai, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on. So Mr. Jai, what would you consider the most pressing issues that our country face, right now, and how would you tackle it? Mention maybe two pressing priorities that you really think are more dear and requires your leadership or your movements, overall structures or objectives to tackle those pressing issues.
I think the two, and you even very right. I would, even if you tell me to say anything, I would just pick two because they are the very important ones. One, it's the issue of the policy divergence. They don't speak to each other. So the first thing that the movement believes needs to be fixed is to ensure that the resources, the structures, the infrastructure, the implementation, and the economic gain needs to all speak to each other. Once we are able to do that, we are halfway into solving the problem.
Okay. No. I want. Give me a second, Mr. Yeah. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. I'm not talking about policy per se, but what I'm saying is, as a country, just recently we celebrated 61 years of independence. Obviously, there is issues, there's challenges. I want you to name two. Not the policy part. I want you to tell me two areas that you think your movement and your structure and your leadership team can tackle on heads on.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. You know, the important things, the two important things that we've identified as need to be fixed. One of it, like I said, I will still insist, it's the silo nature of policies, not policies itself, but the way they are, the way they are not speaking to each other. So if we are not going to be able to fix all these problems, like if I say corruption, if I say corruption, if I say lack of opportunity, if I say the agricultural sector that is not paying off, if I say, tourism, that it's more or less, the Gambia is not getting that 100% that it should get from tourism. That is the SSS, we call it, the sea, the sun, and the soil. So these are all problems, but we see these are all symptoms. They are not problems. The problem is the policies, they need to speak to each other, number one. Number two, we have developed, and I have alluded just recently, we've developed this Atlantic Riverine Prosperity Framework. Because if you looked at our economy, if I describe it for you here right now, maybe you're going to, you will not enjoy your iftar. Because it's small, it's open, it's dependent on aid, it is driven by your money, remittance, and it has a thin production base, and then it's a primary it's a primary export economy. So this is exactly what constitutes the Gambia economy. And each of this, if we discuss it here from an economic perspective, you're not going to enjoy the food that you're going to use for your iftar.
Okay. Well,
every other thing so now,
I want to redirect. I want to redirect to be fair to our viewers and listeners. I mean, we do this all the time, so it's okay. So here is where I'm going to directly ask you your input. So in terms of agriculture and the health sector, what would be your approach or your strategic thinking in terms of tackling those areas?
Okay, so for agriculture, in fact, when we started our research, we've met with a lot of farmers in CRR, Fuladu, and also NBR. So for all this consultation we have made, we have put it together, and then we have written this model called Atlantic Riverine Prosperity Framework. Like I said, this model, one of it's like using the river as a highway, that is transportation, and then using the land, the banks as, let's say, if you go to a certain level around the, God says in the Quran, He has given us the land and the water. You understand? Because the land and the water, it's the key development tools that every country needs. And if you come to the Gambia, I'm not saying we have it in abundance, but I'm saying it's underutilized. Coming back to the Atlantic Riverine Prosperity, you have the terrestrial asset portfolio, which is how we are going to utilize the land. So when we met with the farmers, the fact is a greater percentage of farmers in the Gambia, they do what we call 100 days of farming. So, and when you have the fresh water out there being available, I'm not saying efforts have not been made to ensure that they utilize the rivers that are not the tidal waters. I'm not saying the tidal waters, like the fresh water. So now we are saying, look at the river Gambia, and then we're now going to segregate the waters into tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So tier 1 is going to be the closest tier to the water. For where it is tidal, we're going to put factories, that is the saline water. And where it is fresh water, we are going to ensure that we have the farms, and then we are going to do a kind of a regional, study. That is, every region is going to engage in an activity. We call it regional farms. Every region is going to engage in an activity that is in line with what the region is known for, because agricultural culture is very, very important. But there is going to be diversification to that effect. But I am saying, we have developed a very good model called Atlantic Riverine Prosperity Model, which is a model that is going to ensure that we are going to utilize the land to the fullest. And then we are now going to do that in line with the water. Because let me tell you this, agriculture that is still going back to the silo nature of our policies. Agriculture needs to work with trade. But agriculture right now is not working with trade. And if you bear witness, if you come to the Gambia every of the time, let's say for every of the seasons, there is so much quantity of harvest that is spoiled because there is no proper arrangement that that is going to ensure that we get the best or the maximum, we maximize the output of the agriculture of our farms. That is exactly one problem. So we are saying, if individually the water is only used for fishing, if individually the land is only used using the rainwater, and if individually the youths are being left at the ghetto, there is no going to be an amplification effect. And then we develop a model where these three are going to interact. We are saying get the youths on board, get the water, get the land, and they have that exponential effect. That is, using the land to as a mean of transport, taking the land around the river, put them in tiers, have solarization project. It's a very, very big model, because there are SEZ, special economic zones, there are solarization project, because when we go to our research, we've seen that if you get out of North Bank, the people that you see are they are not interested in this, in this academics. They are more interested into skills. For example, when we visited Basse, the students will tell us the whole school, 5 or 6 people will go to university. The rest, they go back to the farm. So they love skill more than any other thing. For me, I believe anytime the Gambia stop doing the desktop solutions, Gambia is going to make headway. Let us get out of our offices and meet the people, ask them what they want, what are their problems. Because if you want to solve a problem for people in Basse and you give them any other thing, not skill, they're not buying it because that is not what they want. So now this Atlantic Riverine Prosperity Framework, it is a framework that is going to utilize the water, utilize the land, and then the youths are going to be in line, especially when it comes to ecotourism, to have different products of tourists, not only the SSS. So these are all things that the model well spelled out, and we have experts that definitely are involved in the development of this model to ensure that any time that BNT government is in place, we will definitely go straight into the enforcement. Now, when it comes to health, I work for government. I know exactly. I work for government. I know exactly what it means because a very good percentage of the public funds are going into the hands of few. And why that is because these are the private hospitals. Our ideology is this: it's not fair. Because you see a doctor, if I'm an economist, if you study a doctor in the Gambia, you're going to spend 9 years, I'm going to spend 4 years, and I start to receive a salary. You need 7 years, you need housemanship 2 years. So now, if now we go to the same workplace, before you get your doctorate, I already have my master's, I'm paid very good salary and all those things. So for you spend 9 years, and when you come, they pay you 25, 30,000. That's why these guys are leaving the hospitals, going into the private sector. So we have a concept to say we give them 30% of their funds for them to be retained into the public hospitals. Number one solution. Number two solution, we are saying, okay, these hospitals that you have, these funds that because the problem with health is the public hospitals are not good enough. You go there, you don't have even the necessary scanners or the material or the machines that you need, because all the funds that the hospitals need to develop are being channeled to the private hospitals. So what we say is, every public hospital is going to have a private ward. And this private ward, it is where the government workers go. So that these public hospitals can have enough funds. If for me, I have visited certain countries, but I have never seen a country where the public hospitals perform worse than the private hospitals. Gambia is one of those countries. If it exists, it's not going to be many. So the reason being is because when I was a government staff, I am treated, my wife, my kids, all of us go to the public hospitals, and the bill is always very high, 50,000. If you have 20 people in the office, 20 times 50,000, how 100,000 is $1 million that goes to the private hospital. That's why they're able to do they buy the machines, they're able to pay higher wages and all that. So if the public hospitals have their private wards, then we are saying they would be able to, these government workers can go without queuing, because the reason why you want to give the public servant the private hospital so that they wouldn't spend more time. So these are some of the practical, very easy approaches to solve the problem in the health sector. Then the long-term plans will come.
All right, Basiru, we're almost at the end. And I think I'll have the last question, and then you can give us your closing remarks. if my fellow panelists agree to that. So, Basiru, look, anybody listening to you, and you've done your homework, and you're a very smart young man, no doubt about that. And some would say, for all practical purposes, here you have a guy with ideas, solutions to problems going all the way back to independence. In Puruyonga dem Lalsa Dara Bopa, I'm going to create awareness and eventually have it my way. Most people see that as the typical Gambians. That's why everybody wants to form their movement or their political party. You have ideas. You think they're going about it the wrong way. Why don't you join NPP and say, okay, this is what I believe in? Why don't you join any other movement or the United Democratic Party? Because again, for solutions, there has to be compromise. You cannot come and impose your will. You're saying, I'm going to create awareness first. Like people say, Doi has done that for the past 40 years. And if people finally are aware, they will choose the right leaders. America, they've been with this democracy for 400 years. And I can guarantee you, if you think they are aware and they are able to build a country where most people would think, nah, the average American, this is the place. That's why millions of us are heading to the US, good or bad. So my question is, people listening to you, they're like, this is about him and his beliefs. And if it's not in line, that is why you don't want to go to any party and say, okay, I want to be part of this. This is what I bring to the table. Look at some of the parties that you think are even close to what you are advocating. It cannot be a perfect fit, but to send a mandama door from scratch, and this is what I'm going to do. That's what most people are going to have a problem with. Now, this guy is all about intellectual elites and they think they know it all. That is why it has to be about him. This is about him. And if you were to go away, BNT would not even exist, even though you would say, well, we're going to indoctrinate people so that whether you're there or not, BNT still stands. But when people listen to you, they know that this is about you. Even when you answer the question, you said, people that know me well, I have the right traits. I am not corrupt. I'll never change. I will not join Barrow because of me. It's about you. What happened to 2.2 million Gambians then that are going to buy into this? So some are saying, for all practical purposes, maybe find some of these parties that you think they have a chance of governing. Because this is not going to amount to anything if you don't govern. I like the things that you said. You're forming the people doing bakery, the mechanics, organizing them. Oh, that is good. But you can still do that and join a political party, and it would have a much more effective impact. So, again, is this about you and leading something? Or is it about the things that you believe in, that you are willing to go and join other parties and create the compromises? And also, finally, how are you going to participate in 2026? Are you going to endorse a party? Are you going to put up a candidate? Are you going to be part of the process? Or are you going to just go out there and what? If you can just elaborate and then you give us your clues, we would really appreciate it. And really, thanks for coming. And sorry, you guys been trying to get us to bring you on this platform for the longest, but we were finally able to do it. And, and I'm glad we did, because definitely you do know what you're talking about. Go ahead, Mr. Njai.
Okay, so thank you very much, the team. I think that is a very, very good question to close with. Like I said, in fact, the reason why we get into this course is because we believe now it's the very good time that we get to this course, because now is the time that if we don't come on board and participate, even if there is change of government, we have to sit for another 10 years talking about the same thing. Mm-hmm. That's the fact. So we Gambians are talking, we need new leaders. We are saying, we are tapping everybody's shoulder and saying, look, we don't need new leaders. We need to fix the problems, and it's the lack of system. So, and for us, the idea is this, not joining any of the guys. It's not something that, because like I said, a voice into democracy, especially with a voice of substance, a voice that is going to give you information, a voice that is going to bridge the information gap, a voice that is going to inform the population. That voice is never going to be a problem in democracy, because you're going to awaken people, and definitely they can look into voting the right person. But the reason why, for me, coalition is about unity. Joining some unitization is about unity. So for us to unite, we need to have ideologies in line. If not, it's going to cause fragmentation. So that is why, if, like just 2 days ago, somebody called me who has a young movement and said, I want to join you because what you are advocating for is exactly what I have been advocating for. And right now, if we, BNT, not even me, if BNT, the reason why I talked about my traits is not because of me. Everybody who knows me knows me. I'm not an I guy. I'm a we guy. But the fact, I just wanted to say that because the question that he directed to me was whether if I am going to ever drop the movement and join Barrow. And that definitely is not possible, because my participation to the day-to-day development, definitely I don't hang it over just joining Barrow or whatever. So the reference of Uncle Musa, it's not anything like trying to sell ourselves. It's not anything that has to be with us. But we get to the arena because we feel now is the time to ensure that we tell the Gambians that we don't have to vote just a leader, because it happens to us in 2026. Despite all the successes, we were very successful because we were able to change through the ballot box, which is the greatest success Gambia has ever, gotten. But now we are saying, if we don't just need to change the face of the guy who sits at the State House, we want to ensure that we start to develop, and that means to get the right system in place before we talk about change. So that is, in fact, that is why we choose to come now, despite it has coincided with our research being done in 2025, getting to 2026, and now coming into the closing remark. What we are saying is, we are calling Gambians to come on board to join Believe for National Transformation. And joining for Believe for National Transformation, what it does, it elevates us to a level. It makes us understand, because for me, I believe election is all about puzzling the problem in a country. You have to, first of all, the first stage of election is puzzle the problems. Then if you puzzle the problems, then you now begin to see the gaps. Then these gaps are the ones that you see into the manifestos, into the political discussion of the team, and see which one matches the gaps that we want to fix. That way we are choosing the right leader. So I'm calling Gambians to come and join Believe for National Transformation, and we need every Gambian support. Support in all forms, especially the people that are in the diaspora, because we all know that 30% of our GDP today is from the diaspora. But all these funds, indirectly, it flee back out of the country, because the diaspora is for food and construction, and these sectors are in the hands of the very few that are, indirectly or directly monopolists, and they're going to set excessive pricing, and this money is obviously is going to be, sent to the West for the importation of goods. So definitely, the money is hitting the accounts, and government is using it very well to be able to balance its accounting and say, I have a deficit of 1%, I have a deficit of this. When we all know that without the diaspora, the Gambia is going to run into bankruptcy. So we are saying, we need the support of the diaspora so that we can, because after Ramadan, we have a very massive project that is because right now we are getting the Gambians into these circles, and from the circles we have to form hubs, and from the hubs, then once the thresholds are met, we will engage with these people to do the selection of the governing council, which needs transport, traveling, which needs a lot of logistics in place. So we are definitely calling all Gambians to support so that we make this successful. We are trying to go against the politics of patronage and politics of clientelism. And, in doing that, we have to ensure that we establish a well-rooted grassroots, setup, such that every Gambian, support in ensuring that Believe for National Transformation stands. Because we believe if we get into voting a leader without fixing these issues, definitely we are going back to square one. and that is definitely what Belief
Yeah,
National Transformation.
the other question though, are you guys going to put up a candidate, or are you going to support at some point?
We are going to put up a candidate, even if it is good. We have option 1, option 2, option 3, and if the option 3, even if we're going to stand as independent, we're going to.
You're thinking about standing as an independent for BNT come 2026.
Yes, 2026, definitely.
That's one of the options. Thank you very much, Basiru, and then good luck. We will bring you back when you finally decide that you're going to throw your hat in the ring, and then we'll challenge you. That's what we do here. Really, we don't.
Definitely.
Most people, but when it comes to this, you come here, we ask the questions, and there's no doubt you have ideas. No doubt about that. Thank you very much, bro. We appreciate.
Thank you, Uncle Musa, and thank you, Coach. I think your time is very valuable. The questions were very insightful, and then I thank my BNT team for also, trusting me to come here and then represent them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, demal nga lek ben cin wo nga xamne mom lañ daw ci doon pare. Legi jagar demal lek ci.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes. I mean, it's a very smart.
He did his thing, and you know what? To me,
their heart is in the right place, and there are a lot of Gambians that are like this. Now
we need more of this. Maybe, just maybe, we'll eventually be lucky.
Yes.
With a young man who is in it for the country.
Yes.
At the end of the day, and the question one, he's still on. You can drop him. The question that the question that he's been asked by people, I hope you're not going to join Barrow. There's a good reason for that.
Of course.
Because all the young people who came and give us all this talk ended up, Barrow has a way of just attracting them. He'll give you a nice Land Cruiser, give you an office where you'll not have anything but a desk, and then you may have an orderly that will be holding your empty briefcase and all that stuff. So, and I think, in all honesty, this may be unfair to Dr. Cisse, but when Dr. Cisse made the jump, I think that really left a very bad taste in people's mouth, because of, at least there were people who thought that, he was the real deal. He meant what he was saying. But when he jumped ship and joined Barrow, and not only that, and now became the biggest defender of Barrow, it doesn't matter what you say, to the extent that he would even go out of character. Use some very, very nasty language sometimes in defense of Barrow. So that's why, and look at the guy from Janjanpure. I remember when he was running, there was this guy is just going to try to join APP. He was, no, I'm not going to join. You see him at the National Assembly with his Sikkim, and you're like, okay, who is this guy? To see this guy all of a sudden who was criticizing politicians who joined the ruling party and all that stuff, to stand there, and then they all give you the same excuse. I'm doing it for national development. Dude.
Yeah.
But, great. I encourage the Basiru Njais and all these young people, get your hands dirty. It's not easy, though. It's not easy like that, like Bara would say. But
it's definitely not easy like that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's a very difficult thing. I mean, does he really believe what he's saying? I think so. He's passionate about it, and he really believes in it. But for all practical purposes, now here he is basically saying they need help from the diaspora, because he understands that it's going to take resources to do these things. And that's where the difficulty is. And that is why I think the second option is to find parties that are well established, and maybe they have access to resources. You have ideas and you believe in them, and then you try to find your way. But if you want to do it, if he's gonna do it on the BNT, I'm not saying that they're not going to be successful, but it'll be difficult. So
maybe they're the new Pastef, so you never know.
You never know. I mean, but we all know that journey, bro. We just looking at Doi, I think is a clear example. Nobody will ever question whether the Samsars, the Halifas, they believe in the things that they believe in. I mean, they're the oldest party now since 1987. I mean, they've never moved an inch joining. I'm going to abandon what I believe in, the principles, and join the ruling government, whether it was the PPP or even the Second Republic under Jammeh. They never wavered. But, and again, one would say they don't even have the electoral basis to even show for it, really. So that tells you it's a very difficult, it's a very difficult journey. And I don't know, this is not to discourage them because they believe in what they believe in.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes too, you have to take all these things into consideration. You need resources to do these things, to be able to connect to people. And Gambians, just like you said, the Dr. Caesars of this world that are making calculations, poor people are also making similar calculations. I live in Kaur in a community, for instance. I want to have a good relationship with the councillor. I want to have a good relationship with the alkali. I want to have a good relationship with the National Assembly member because that's where my survival is. So when they make decisions, they're making decisions that benefit them at their home level. You see, so they make calculations like that as well. So I feel do somebody. But I would say it's not easy like that there. It's definitely not easy like that. And I wish them luck, but it's gonna be tough, really. I don't know, Brother Marong. You're the one with the
No, they sent me a text. They said, Sariang, today I don't know whether my our koto or uncle is hungry due to Ramadan.
Yes.
But it looks like you and Coach Pasamba Jau are the independent folks on the platform. It says Musa have a hard time defending the 30,000. And also says he didn't give a very good answer on the reason why Talib met with
But that has now been refuted by Sidi Tapala Panjai, which I will read when you're done.
Okay, and he says, I thought he was gonna get you into UMC, but today I'm kind of very relieved that it doesn't seem like you still have your independent mantle and voice, and you need to keep speaking up. But our uncle today hasn't done his.
I'm gonna leave all of you the way.
He says the uncle hasn't done a good job today defending and being a good strategist.
No, I'm not defending. I'm just making clarification based on questions that were asked.
To the best of your abilities, because
yes,
you may not know all the facts.
Yes.
I do not.
Yes.
I really do not. But I also do know that the person that I know as Talib Ahmed Bensouda will not make a lie like that. I would believe him any day before I believe Sidi Njai, because Sidi Njai doesn't believe in anything. So we're looking at someone who's been at the leadership level for 10 years. Judge the person by his character, not what that other person is saying. Mohammed will do anything, change color all over the place. You think I'm going to listen to Sidi Njai? Seriously? Pasamba will listen to Sidi Njai? Seriously?
This is my thing. As soon as they said Sidi Njai was the one who issued a statement debunking, I think I believe Talib. And now Talib has to tell us when the meetings took place. But
I think, Musa, this is my problem is I will believe Talib, but here is where it raises a bit of eyebrows. And I don't think the movement spokesman did a great job, right? First, when did this conversation took place? Was it a meeting that they organized between him and the president? Who organized it? Who were there? What was his position then? Was it in his capacity as a mayor of KMC or as an organizing secretary? Musa, these are fundamentals, especially, I code you when you put your hand like this, you said transformative, something new, something totally different. So that becomes center of discussion. The man that you mentioned, I really don't care much about him, and I'm not going to mention. I'm not going to mention his name here. He's very irrelevant to what he said.
I was just following up with Pastor Ambane. It was rebut. Maneko, look, listen to the person who is doing the rebuttal. Look, all I'm saying is this. Now your emphasis is about the timing. I have no idea, but this is what I know. Talib Ahmed Bensouda has demonstrated that he's a political force to be reckoned with. One, do I believe that politically they will be dangling by Barrow and the NPP? That's what they do. These are the same people that reach out to the APRC because they wanted to win an election. When was it done? I don't know. Was it done before 2021 elections? I don't know. Was it done after the 2021 elections? I don't know. Was it done after Talib Ahmed Bensouda? They realized that there was this power struggle within the UDP, and in him they saw a force, and they thought that they want to exploit it. I don't know. Was the meeting arranged by, do I believe that Talib Ahmed Bensouda would arrange a meeting with Barrow? I don't believe it. The reaching out must have been done from the Barrow side. When they did that, they sat down. Kidafa am yar. You invite her. You sit down with them. The guy, they did. Kemo said he was there. Kemo wouldn't lie. They made the pitch. We want you to come because you know how NPP is. They saw the chaos, what is seen as, what I would say, power play within the UDP, and they wanted to exploit it. How do you exploit it? You bring him and say, you know what? You come and I'll make you vice president. You come, I'll make you minister of trade. Talib said, thanks, but no thanks. Why did even Talib say that? You got to go back to what they were responding to. The question was, they left the UDP because they're desperate. They're hungry for power. And they're saying, look, if it was all about power and if all about us being desperate, here you have a situation where the ruling government, they're already in power, they reach out to us and said, come. And we're like, that's not the direction we want to go. We want to create a new Gambia. We want to hit that reset button. Halifa Saleh has made this argument before. He said, the APRC under Jammeh, when they came to power, they reached out to Halifa and said, come, we'll make you a minister. They will say, thanks, but no thanks. So this is not about whatever you guys are trying to make it to be. The question, the most fundamental question is this. Would the UNC make up this story? I don't believe it. Did they reach out to UNC and say, come and join the government? I believe that. Did they turn it down? Yes, they did. Because that's not the kind of Gambia that they want to create. If UMC participate in the presidential election in 2026 and they ended up losing, God forbid, I don't see them joining the Barrow government because they're not driven by that. That I know, that I believe. Whenever they do that, I'm out of there. And I'll tell you that these people, they are fraud. But the people that I know, I don't think that they are driven by that. That's all I have to say. Definitely. So, whole timing issue, being cynical, being trying to create this thing. I mean, the guys.
People have opinions. You have so many cynical. You're cynical than any person here. You know that, and I'm happy today. You are on the defensive and trying to explain these things. It's the nature of the beast, and you know that, right?
But Musa,
you have opinions where they don't seek your advice, but you have to give your opinion, right? And we respect that.
But Musa, when that such an information comes, you'll have a pushback because no, hold on. It was not recorded. There is a reason why if you want to meet these people, they say don't come in with your phone and all that foolishness, But is it outside of Barrow's character to offer? No, this is the same guy who was so desperate that he would go to Yaya Jammeh's compound on the anniversary of Single Nyasi's death to say for peace because he wanted Yaya Jammeh's backing so badly. This is the same guy who would go and sleep in the same bed with Fabakary Tombong Jatta to the extent that he would not even want to mention victims. He did not want to offend them. So he would do whatever it is to get anybody. And this is what they've been doing. And this is why they were able to go and get a Sabali and offer him something. And I can bet my bottom dollar. I have said this here. That bill that they were going to have is the Sabali Nakanjoguba bill. Because it was meant to, you know what, let's find a way. Hey, here's the thing. You're banned for life. You come and join me, and I have the powers to pardon you. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities for that to happen. But of course, if you go there and make that assertion, you will have a pushback. And then your opponents will start asking questions, especially the way that you left what's the name of the party? UDP. They will be asking, okay, were you engaged on the handed dealings before you left? So that's what I'm saying. So you will always expect that.
I'm not questioning the pushback. Seriously, people like to politicize it. But let's look at the political.
Oh, it's political.
It is political. So now today.
What I mean is, look, Pasamba, when you want to dig it. If we wanna hit the reset button and defeat Barrow, trying to find opening to get at our other within the opposition, I think it's a failed strategy. I think it's not very smart. It make us feel good, whether it's coming from the UMC, whether it's from the UDP, whether it's coming from DOI, wherever it's coming from. If you are going to kind of fine tune up to a point of even believing Sidi Njai, then definitely, you're not being strategic. You're engaged in a politic of feel good.
Okay.
That is not going to defeat the incumbent. What's going to defeat the incumbent is to find commonality. What's going to defeat the incumbent is to find a way we can compromise. To defeat the incumbent, we have to come together and take the fight to the.
We get it. We get that. But here is
you don't seem to get it.
No. We are all in agreement, Musa. But here is the thing, though. Today, they came up with this. Now, Sidi Njai came up with this. Now, it is going to be who said who.
Who do you believe?
No, I don't. Again, it's not about
who is that question, me?
No, hold on. Don't ask me that. Because
I will not ask you that. Because you know these people, they play the game.
No. Musa, when they take easy.
Do you seriously that Taliban Suda will have an interview and say, I was offered a job by just making it up? You seriously believe that?
Musa, I don't think that is not my point. What my point here, hold on a second. What my point Musa, relax. And you know what? Welcome to my world for many, many years ago, where I am on you challenge, right? You belong. Now, if stuff happens, we need to be able to discuss these issues, right? Now, here is my question. The fact is becoming, Sidi Njai saying, no, it didn't happen. Talib Bensouda said, you said you believe in Kemo 100%. Kemo said, and Kemo said it. And I don't know why Kemo would make stuff up. Exactly. But if we had to go through your own measure, your own words, that we need to focus on things that it matters to defeat the incumbent, why would they bring this stuff up right now?
Okay, relax. Why would they bring it up? You have to remember, the accusation was, or the issue that was brought up, Moine, these people, they are hungry for power. It's all about that. That's why they left the UDP to form their own movement, because all they want is to get into power. So this was in response to that. The interview was done. Talib said, look, this is not about me being hungry for power. And then he said, I was given the opportunity to be vice president. So if it's only about power, I would have taken that choice. So he wasn't saying that to criticize any other opposition party. He wasn't saying that to say, well, Manmagen Doi or Manmagen UDP. He's basically saying, look, the reason why I left has nothing to do with me hungry for power. The reason why I left is for different reasons, but it's not about that. So I'm saying, as the opposition, if we want to kind of trying to find something about that statement, being cynical about that statement, either he's lying or these people are just lying, it didn't happen, and all evidence you have is, oh, do you want to bring Sidi Njai, believe Sidi Njai, or do you want to believe Talib Ahmed Bensouda? That's where I have a problem with. All I'm saying is this. Did it happen? Yes, it did. Did they offer him the position? Yes, he did. Did he reject it? Yes, he did. Simple as that. And as an opposition, we should start fine-tuning our commonality, fine-tuning how we can come together, fine-tuning how we can come up with a strategy to defeat the incumbent and hit that reset button. I will not be listening to a CDJ to use it against another fellow opposition members. I will not do that. And
nobody is doing that for the record.
The people that are texting you,
no, they are not. I did not mention. Hold on, I did not mention. No, you do this.
I was the one who brought up the CDJ.
This is your strategy, and today I understand you are on the hot seat. Okay.
You are.
You are freaking on the hot seat, and everyone knew it, and that's it. And you gotta be. This is what our job is. We have to challenge each other. And but one fundamental key that I don't know whether you get but what I'm trying to say, Musa, the whole conversation comes in. If we say something new, something transformative, we need to be squeezy clean like this. That's what I'm saying.
Squeezy clean.
Huh?
And we're not squeezy clean.
No, what I'm trying to say.
What
I'm trying to say, and I'm gonna put Sidinja is irrelevant to me. You mentioned his name. I'm not gonna even mention his name. Coach is the one who brought him in, right? What I'm trying to say is the fundamental is when it happens and all that. I think clarity needs to happen. Let's move on from that conversation moving forward.
Look at Lalo Mas. This is what I'm saying. We're all fellow opposition. He said he doesn't believe that he was.
Well, Lalo Mas is entitled to what he said. You don't worry about what Lalo Mas. You had an interview for 2 hours on iAfrica TV. You said what you want. Nobody stopped you.
No, but Musa, let's be fair. Your guys too. I know what you're saying, and I've said it here that our politics has become so silly. In fact, I said it today. Where now you don't even think that Barrow is running the country. The focus is more on this thing. But whatever the UDP folks are doing, your guys are doing it too.
And Pasamba,
yes.
How many times have I told you that I have a serious problem what UNC is doing? I have a serious problem that if they make this program be feeling, I said it to be a UMC. We are not going to bring about change or win an election by making it about the UDP. I was not born yesterday. I don't think
we know that.
Good politics.
That we know.
Good.
We all know that.
We all know that.
You were not born yesterday.
Meaning, I have seen this movie before. It doesn't work. All we need to do is we need to start.
Defending the indefensible is always hard, man. So.
No. I am not. I am absolutely not.
No, what Musa, I want to pivot a little before we go because it's almost 4 o'clock.
Hey, I am independent. I am not leaning on. I can speak freely. Not like you now. You are associated with UMC, and I don't hold that hat anymore.
Asama, no, but for all fair reasons. When we raised this issue about the registration, I said, I accept. Man, I'm not this partisan hack. I'm not into that business. I have an issue with the sloppiness. Like Pasamba said, here you have a party that really, they have some legal minds. Should they have made sure that the I's dotted, T's crossed? Absolutely. Did they kind of get excited with the, the formation of the movement and they ran with it? Yes, they did. And there was some administrative sloppiness, yes. But to take that, no, you cannot be transformational. Oh, you are not the change. I think it's a little bit overboard.
You know what? Show us who you are. Well, maybe change that and we'll move on.
We'll change that. All I'm doing is convince us. Even my sister Ami said, "Oh, Musa, this whole sloppiness." Huh? And Ami is a straight shooter. Ami is Fana sister said, "Oh no, Faramos, let's take it back."
3 months. This guy
after action report. This is what we do. After action report, review, adjust, and recalibrate. Faramos.
Yes.
As the chief strategist, that's what we're doing.
We have done.
Thank you. What about Ibrahim Diba?
Exactly. What is that all about?
We're going to make the necessary correction. Look, there were 6 other parties that were named.
But why do you think, Musa? And the question is, why do you think the focus is on you? Hamga, you know what the focus is, and this is where you guys need to. No, it's not a threat. It's not anything. No, here's the thing, Musa. The reason for that is if you come, no, never many CA.
No, never
many CA. The last time when they went for their nomination and they were rejected, a whole bunch of people were rejected.
Yeah.
The reason why people focus on CA is because what CA was telling people that who they were. And that's it. If you come and say that we are the new kids on the block, we are the transformational organization. When something happens, we are not looking at all this, or we are looking at you. But anyway, I wanted to talk about Barrow and his speech.
Mistakes were made. We are going to fix it. Hold on, I'm not done. Mistakes were made. We're going to fix it. Look at Unite for the next week and see the things that we are doing. Urge the party as if these people are in it to win it. This is not a party based on just what do you or position yourself so that you can benefit power. These people are in it to win it.
You know what, Musa?
They are in it to win it.
Okay, good for you. Now, the question that I wanted to ask you guys, the question that I wanted to ask you guys before you close.
Yes.
We just celebrated our 61st independence anniversary. The first thing that I got hit with, a friend of mine, Musa knows him, like crazy like hell, called me, was all agitated. We are not a serious country. I'm like, what happened again? He was, did you see the march place, Makati Square? That place is horrible. They knew they were going to this thing. They could not even fix that place to hold the event. This looks even worse than it looked before we left Gambia 30 years ago or whatever. I'm like, you know what? You are right. But anyway, then I listened to Barrow's speech. And the emphasis on the speech that everybody is talking about is zero tolerance for corruption. This is not the first time we've heard it from Barrow. And when you talk to my friend Dr. Sisi and others about corruption, they will tell you, hey, corruption amut. They're just exaggerating it. But all of them, corruption ko today si chin for pumba mo monkey. The fact that it is even mentioned means it's a problem. Does any one of you believe that Barrow has the wherewithal to fight corruption in the Gambia?
I have serious doubts. Serious doubts that, you know, because Coach, we've been through this. People who come in, he hired them as technocrat, and I'll use Mohamed Manjam for example. They come in and they implement changes. People who are so used to the status quo started fighting. What does he do? He relieved them of their position. There's several others who really felt that the day-to-day task is to be able to execute the office upon which they were entrusted. And they get a big backlash. And instead of the president stand with them and say, you are doing the right thing, do it for the sake of the country, what do? They end up getting transferred. Okay? So unless and until I seen something serious, a policy document that is approved and implemented, I think every time, because he knows this. This has been a sentiment. Even in Gambia, people will keep saying, Mobe bunjangolo, you know, Momo dundala mansa kunda kono, wala Momo balapati kono, olbe bunjang kutolo and all that, and ile jomasi. And if you hear those sentiments, he's hearing this because people are going back and telling him this. And to, you know, he's saying, I'm going to keep an open mind, but I hope I take him on his pledge, and hopefully he implement and hold his folks accountable. I think that would be great.
Unlike you, I'm not even keeping an open mind. The man is not committed to fight corruption. When you come out as a leader and you said you have zero tolerance for something, you have to tell me, how are you going to demonstrate that you have zero tolerance for that? Is this the first time he's saying this?
No.
Absolutely not. Look, Barrow is not in a position to fight the corruption that we have in that country. Forget about whether he's engaged in corruption or not, because we have no evidence of that. That's not the issue. Look, the corruption, all of us are involved in it. It's a cancer. It's a culture in the country. So if you say you have zero tolerance, you have to develop policies and programs that would actually directed to fight that. Heading into an office, the Attorney General, and with all that happen, really, that whole Attorney General thing, and you want to come and tell me that you seriously want to fight corruption and you want me to believe you? Digga. Yo, Tamit, are we stupid?
Are you talking about the Auditor General or
General? Exactly. Sorry, an Attorney General Lawa.
I was kind of
core.
So Sarian, that whole episode and how it was handled is not in line with someone who wants to fight. Look, if we want to fight corruption, we have to elect a leader. Kohamne will come,
incorruptible.
Hit the reset button. It's incorruptible, and that doesn't only mean getting yourself rich in every way, even politically. Even Baranuga di Dohalesa, $50 million seat sidetrack for for NPP supporters. Even how you win an election, which says a lot about you. To be honest, we need someone, Kohamne bro, you're gonna come focused on fighting this thing with everything that you get. Forget about yourself in every way. Now, any of the opposition party leaders, I will trust them. Any of them. Whether it's Alaji Usainu, whether it's Talib Ahmed Bensouda, whether it's Swaibu, whether it's Esafal, I will at least give them the benefit of the doubt. If they say that when they come in, they will honestly fight corruption, I am willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, more so than the president. Because the president was there for 10 years. 2 terms in office, 10 years, Fukiat. And we haven't seen anything except taken to court for Banjang, supposedly for corruption, sent to prison by the courts, and he pardoned him. How many prisoners are in Mile 2? Why him? Does that look like someone who is committed to fighting corruption? Seriously? Do we really need to give him the benefit of the doubt after 10 years? Seriously? I don't think so.
And you know what, Musa, to add to say Samanjang, Banja, Latura Banja.
Banja.
Yes.
Mr. Banja.
Barrow's commitment to fight corruption was demonstrated when he established a commission of inquiry to look into the corrupt activities of Yaya Jammeh. The commission came with their recommendation. The government came with a white paper. They selected the ones that they really wanted to distinguish, whatever.
Right.
People were banned. He decided, you know what? I need a political tool. Attorney General, draft me a bill that would give me the powers now that I did not have to pardon those who've been found liable by a commission of inquiry.
Exactly.
And then he used that tool and say, you know what? Njoguba can be very useful in the Salem area.
Exactly.
Jogu, come to the NPP, I'll give you a job. I will pardon you, and you can do my bidding. Jogu was, you know what? Waxoon naa fi ne Yaya Jammeh ne nekk president for 1 billion years. Yow nak 2 billion amal. Mu ne Joguba pardon. Sabally, I know everything that you've been saying about me at the UDP. But hey, you are a young man. This is your chance.
Exactly.
I can pardon you. Now I have the powers. But you have to come and join me. I'll give you a job. I'll give you a car. You will have an orderly. Somebody was, you know what? UDP. Sorry. I joined you because Mr. Dabo came and said what happened to me was unfair. Now this man is really now taking care of me. I'm leaving.
And he has the weapon to do something about it.
Yes. So that shows that the man has never been interested in fighting corruption. He will never be interested in fighting corruption because even when he fights it, I think a lot of people very close to him. Oh, look at this whole thing, this new thing that they talk about. What do they call it? The new contract that they have with fixing, making IDs or whatever. There are claims that his nephew, who is now believed to be one of the most powerful people in that country, has some dealings with that company. I don't know whether that's true or not. So, but if you're fighting corruption, you have to, when Thomas Sankara wanted to fight corruption, what he did was, I'm going to do asset evaluation, and he's going to start with me.
Yes.
He started with him.
Exactly.
And when he died, when they killed him, you know what they found in his possession? He had 2 radios. One was broken, one was working. His guitar, his second-hand Toyota that he owed, and less than $300 in his account. And he was president for 4 years. That's how you fight corruption. You start it with yourself.
No, you got to believe in it.
Yep.
Then you put beliefs on it. I mean, there's absolute corruption, and you have to come up with ways. I mean, I would want to see, one thing I can tell you, and that's why, again, I would really like for the opposition to have the opportunity and come together. And this is something that that will bring them to, that commonality, and said, this is what us coming together, this is how we're going to fight corruption. Us coming together, this is how we're going to have from day one a new constitution. Us coming together from day one, this is how we're going to be doing the budget. I mean, to make sure that the people that are left out. When I went to Serekunda market, the informal sector, government, there is a lot of focus on including salaries for civil servants, which I'm sure they deserve it. Public, people that work for the civil service. They will tell you 50% salary increase, 60% salary increase, which is fine. But let's look at the population, where they are. That's the population. I mean, if you cannot do anything to address your same problem, or you're just focusing on policy agnosy, and that is not to say we should not focus on them. Don't get me wrong. The majority of the population, bro, they are in the informal sector. They're all over the place. When you go to turntable, when you go to all these, when you see you go to Serekunda market, mungi sam jenami, when yanko bo mungi upa. I mean, an older person, jigen, and you look at kidimo jai, ki lila wara dunde. How do you fix that? I think we need a new government that will focus on that. We have to do things differently. And I'm not talking about jail hallis and blow it on these folks, but I'm just saying their daily needy euswabuneka did them Serekunda Marse, did them all these marses. And that's where the majority people are. Bro, we need to look at their situation.
You have to.
Seriously.
Something has to change.
Be looked at. Something different has to be done. Really. And this is where I believe the opposition can come together, find an economic program that they can all agree to, find how they can fight corruption, find how they can make some of these instruments of governance to change it on day one. They agree to that. And then they see the vehicle and how they're going to go about it. If they do that, then the Barrow will be defeated. If he gets defeated, if we defeat him, then we bring about the change that we are talking about.
No third force then. I guess that's a change from the third force.
No, the third force is still.
Omar Tambane, the three of us, before we sit here yapping all over the place, why can't we go to the Gambia and run for the National Assembly or something else?
No, because we can't. Omar, we cannot run for National Assembly.
No, Omar, you finance my campaign, I will run.
Musa, I wanted to touch on
something,
because I promised this young man that if I come in, I sit on the platform every Sunday and I will advertise his business. In fact, he's the nephew of Omar Faye, and they name him after Muntaga. His name is Muntaga Sabali. A young man, he worked alongside with his brother. So they transport folks from Senegal to Gambia. So they have a reliable vehicles. It's fully air conditioning. So
the last time I checked, I haven't gotten any any invoice for advertisement? I mean, have they paid any?
Well, I sit on here. I can advertise. It's all right. So the young man, basically, if you contact him, he knows your arrival time or departure. He will wait you right in the parking garage and meet you, take your luggages, put it in the young man, great driver. Because first when he says, we were texting and I got out and he goes, are you Mr. Morong? I said, yes. He says, I'm going to be a driver. He's only 22 years old. Can you imagine?
Young guy.
So, but he says, yes, I'm your driver, and we get everything, we chit chat. But Musa, I'm telling you, man, I call him Imam, great guy. I mean, the way, it's the ways, the roads in Senegal, but the way he overtakes and all that stuff. I mean, I told his brother, I demand when I was returning, I said, I want Imam. Imam is my driver. So support a young man's business. They are doing great. I mean, they go back and forth because people started knowing their services. And, the time he called, someone else called him and say, hey, I'm even flying in on that Friday. And if you could take us, he says, I have a dropout. That just works fine. And very pleasant, a very careful guy. And he took maximum, caution driving through. And whatever the fees is, you don't pay anything. They put the car on the ferry and it takes you right into your show. So he will drop you.
How much does he charge?
Well, he charged about $220.
$220. Wow.
Yes, but with all your luggages from Dakar to Bijilo. No, to your door. He will park right by your door.
Yeah.
And get all your luggages. If you're 2 people, 3 people, that's not much. I mean, it saves you a lot of money. So
absolutely. Because I basically did the same thing. I don't like this Europe route bubble in Brussels or then having to go through Europe to Africa. So I like the Senegal route. And sometimes too, because of Air Senegal doesn't go till in the evening. So being a very, like you said, a very viable option. Call somebody like that, dependable vehicle. They'll pick you up right there at the airport. And within 3-4 hours, I mean, you're pretty much in Gambia.
And then you have to wait for the ferry for the next listing, Man, ferry is always my biggest concern.
Right. But I think
supposed to come in.
I think their services actually they have both ferries running. So
that's getting better.
And they have the new one that is called Bara that is supposed to be. I saw it. It looks very nice.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure Ibrahim Silla will have a lot of bragging rights.
Well, I spoke to him and he said, what is my assessment? I need to give him my lowdown.
No, we need to go visit him. But
I talked to him. He's my neighbor. And prior, they went for their midday farmers store, whatever they call it. So we miss each other. So
the most abusive, financial abusive political gathering that we've had they need to scrap that. That needs to just.
I'm not going to categorize it like Gambia is on the move, but I think Barrow is trying hard with all the challenges.
Find another way of really responding to that, because I think it's very weak to say, well, it's constitutionally mandated. I'm like, come on now. I mean, I think that is very weak.
Yeah, you could.
I think they are outdated.
I think you're spending 52 million. I mean, in a country like the Gambia, absolutely poor. And your only response is constitutionally mandated. Seriously? Because
the thing is, they give you 10 million. 10 million, just 50 million.
It doesn't tell you how to spend it, how to meet these people, what method, or how to go about it. The Constitution doesn't get into that.
No,
so for what channel do you do it? Do you have to go there physically? Do you have to? I mean, it doesn't get into all of that.
Yeah.
So
it's outdated.
Tell me, you're spending 52 million that you don't have just because of it's constitutionally mandated. I personally think that is
it's outdated. You see the 2 things that are outdated that need to go get out of our laws: attestation,
yes,
and that stupid meet the people store. The president, you are the president of the Republic of the Gambia. You do not need to sit in your office. Gambia is such a small country.
Yeah.
You can wake up one day and say, you know what? My drivers, we give you that limousine, it's air conditioned and everything. Drive to Basse and do a sport visit. Meet with the people. You don't need to carry everybody with their warambas and their asobis and all this. But you know the other question that we need to ask? Do you remember when Barrow wasted our time and appointed these governors of Banjul and Serekunda?
Yes.
KM, no, what you say? Yeah, it was KMC and Banjul. What are their roles? What are they doing?
What were they called again?
They call them regional governors or whatever they call them. Something he came up with. But what are their roles? What are they doing? Nobody knows what. It's just utter nonsense that we create all these bureaucracies for nothing. Just because of you wanna, and it was done for nothing but political thing. Oh, you know what? They have UDP controls this thing. UDP controls Banjul. I also have to have somebody who is over them. Those people have no constitutional legs to stand on. They have no mandates whatsoever. They are given salaries. Every this thing, His Excellency. Now everybody is either HE or honorable. You know, it doesn't make sense. And that's how you govern. I hope UMC, you guys, executive secretary, I hope UMC, you guys are not planning on implementing those days, Musa.
I can tell you one thing. And you can take it to the bank.
Which bank? Some bank with the guy would jail all you and I'm supposed to take
just UMC, right? I think we should channel all our energies and to make sure that we have another government come December 6th, other than what we currently have.
December 2nd.
Barrow has done his bit. Am I going to sit here that when I went to Gambia, I mean, I saw things that I was very impressed with. Absolutely no doubt about that. Ramsone, Sarayang, you did too. Really. I mean, things have been done. No one is doubting that. But when everything is said and done, nekang of a fukiat, my friend, just step aside and let's allow someone. It could be even somebody from your own NPP. Why mandama folk ne, the change that the country needs, it's much easier with another individual, most likely another political party. Now, if I wear my UMC hat, I believe we are it. We can bring about the change day one. Because Talib Ahmed Bensouda, day one, he's ready. He has 10 years of executive experience. On day one, he doesn't have to go through that learning curve. Nothing like that. On day one.
Can I tell you something, though?
I think that matters.
Can I tell you something? That Useru Dabo can also tell you that, you know what, from day one, I was the vice president. I am ready. No.
No rebuttal day. No rebuttal here. Just leave. Why you walk?
Okay.
Because unless you believe, because the two leaders that we had.
I'll tell you that you are not very fair, man.
Who is not fair?
Yo.
Nobody saying. Yo, how long banga bene Gambia long ban pusong indok ngana. Bari this yang them understand.
No, I'm fair and balanced, man. I am fair and balanced.
You are fair and balanced.
We're not gonna be lopsided, one side analysis. And this one, man, I know that do they lamb. You want to take out I'm problem, the lamb. You are waffling all over the place. I don't know why. You were waffling to cause season. Why you putting this thing on the movie, man? Why you put this thing on there, man? So who told you to put this video on there? I didn't even realize he put this thing on. I did not know that. So that's why everybody, when I was in Gambia, I didn't see this. And everybody was like, oh, Sariang, you are there. I said, I know. Who gave? He says, we watch it on your program. I did not know that.
That's Musa.
Musa, I'm gonna sue you, and you better retract this video. You better freaking retract this.
You know what? I will be your witness.
And supposedly, you are the mantle of change. You're supposed to do something different, something transformative. Here you are in violation of my privacy. I went to a private gathering with my wife. You're putting it on the social media without my permission.
That's the violation. No, that I will delete.
You know what, Sarian? The next time you see, just have your camera ready too.
No, he was so busy. Oh, Bama this, and he took another one, which I'm not gonna say the person. If you do that, Coach Pasambaya will. Coach, I saw him. I swear to God, I saw him taking a video of an elderly statesman. Elderly statesman. If you put that stuff on here, I am now going to get involved. Hey, they're going to come after you left and right because I know you were saying this, Coach. You said default by association. So, Lola, this one, you put it off, the man is going to come in. He's going to say, who is Musa Jeng? You know? I saw him taking a video of someone too. So you better put that up.
It was a nice vacation. Like I said,
next year I have to join you guys.
It's a country with a lot of potential. And that is why I am just hoping upon hope that we can usher in change and give somebody else a chance. Mom tamin mu def. Affaire bi ku nekk da nga def nga dandu keneen ñew def. I mean, that's what can keep a country, I think, developed. Because in the new perspectives and new personalities and new individuals, then everybody will understand that, you know what? But if we just re-elect President Barrow, not that he's a horrible man, but I don't think really that's what the country needs at this juncture. Definitely. I listened to Dr. Cisse, and this is what he said. This is the lamest argument I've ever heard in my life. It's like all of these people, the only reason why they are running, they are hungry for power. And that is why they don't even know what they're talking about. And he tries to demean them, that they don't even understand policies. They don't have the experience. I'm like, seriously? If they are hungry for power, how about you? Because the moment December 6 election results are announced and you are out, you are out. And that is why you are willing to say or do anything. That's what it is. And you think these people are just, he said, Bensouda is a coward. Name calling. That's what our politics has been resort to. Especially somebody like him who was in the opposition, my friend. You would never hear from Talib Ahmed Bensouda calling anyone a coward or disparaging comments. That's what I like about him, the civility, what he represents. He doesn't get into the gutter. He doesn't do that. He goes for an interview, he talks policies, he answers questions. Follow swing politics be what are them.
No, Musa.
Musa,
I'm going to help, sir. This nonsense politics of keep up Sindala Yayam Golola.
Yes.
It is sad that the supposed intellectuals of our politics. Dr. Cisse is a good friend of mine still now. I like the guy. We do not agree. And I remember how he felt when he was in the opposition. I remember having an interview with him. We had a joint interview, QTV. I remember the phone call when he called me and said, guess what, guy, play with Kore. And we told Sayo Berito that I don't think they're going to play that.
Oh, you mean the one at QTV?
Yes. Then he was in the opposition. I remember the positions that he used to take. I remember when Barrow questioned and asked where were he during the struggle. I remember when Dr. Cisse tried to sell us CA.
Yes.
The agenda he had in the new type of politics that he wanted to bring to that country. The political ideas. And not the politics of insults or tribe and all these things.
Exactly.
For him to now resort to that
Yes.
Musa, it's just sad because, and this is why any young person that is coming up now is looked at with suspicion.
Of course.
Because people will be saying, I hope you're not going to. But you cannot call somebody hungry for power when you yourself abandon everything that you stood for, which is in direct contrast with everything that Barrow stands for, to join Barrow. And to do anything and everything to defend any policy or anything that the Barrow government did, to the extent of using some of these languages now. That man, that boy, the coward, the Lee, the Haumanaka, high school dropout, or did not even finish their degree for 80. What type of politics is this? And I hope that, listen, Doctor is a young man. He has a lot of future in Gambian politics. And I hope he's not going to lose his integrity by trying to be the attack dog, and that is when that is a term. It's not like what somebody the attack person.
Right.
Barrow sometimes doesn't go the low, and Barrow has said the lowest things about people, particularly Mr. Dam.
Doesn't do it anymore. I mean, at least I've heard it.
It doesn't. I've seen Ibrahim Sise. Ibrahim Silla might get angry,
but he wouldn't.
But he would never get to that level.
No.
With people.
No.
It's unnecessary.
Totally.
You were there, you read a whole bunch of things that Barrow did right. That's where I would have stopped.
Yes.
This man cannot, because we've done A, B, C, and D, and this. That's what you do. But you don't go calling people coward, calling people names, calling people this, calling people that. They're this. For what? What are you trying to achieve?
And totally unnecessary.
It's unnecessary, my brother. Believe me, it is unnecessary.
I mean, it's just of politics of going all the way back to the First Republic and the Second Republic. And for him being a PhD in political science. And you remember when he first came, I said, Doctor is going to be an asset for this government. And no one is going to argue that he has done a hell of a job as information minister. Seriously, whether it's the Mansakunda, whether it's always out there defending and elaborating and explaining the policy of the government effectively. He has done that. Where he made a mistake, he has a tendency to personalize and attack people. He has a tendency to get in this hyperbole of overspinning. But as an effective information minister, yes, but effective information minister comes with believability. People then put gomla. Even if they disagree with you, at least they should be able to respect new gomla. Why should all you do is the capital L, understand what I mean? Whatever you say, they will not believe it. You can be an information minister and the policy of a government without resorting yourself to be insulting people. Whenever you are on the defense, then you attack. That's what he did to Barrow. Alaji Barrow. He went for the jugular when it was Mahdi Jobate. Whatever you think of Mahdi, you're always trying to disparage the total knit. And you are seriously, to me, that tells me you are willing to invest whatever it takes to maintain your job and your position. And I hope you guys are defeated come December 5th. Then what time it is. Because there are a lot of capable Gambians that can take this country to the next level. Do Yendrek. Brother Maran.
Farmos, the chief analyst. Chief analyst. No, I agree with you. And to be fair, though, like you guys both said, the politicians who's been in the political space for many, many years never use such commentary against fellow, opposition leaders, right? So I think you need to be measured in your utterances. You don't go personal, as I said, if he transferred the ministry, he has a lot more information to sell. Grounded on policy and prescription and the accomplishments, right? Rather than going against, like you said, disparaging someone, calling him boy, coward. That's beneath the dignity of a state minister, especially a political science professor who has been lecturing at the university. I really think he needs to reflect on that. And it can go both ways. You know, you say these things, but people have their stuff. Last time Pamuda came up with his clip where during was it COVID when he said Barrow went in hiding and Barrow didn't say a word, and he says laughter alone for, you know, for even 2 words give speak to the press, you know. So they go begin to the archives and stuff. But I think the bottom line is we need to elevate the conversation. There's a lot more challenges in that country that needs to be addressed, and I think they need to provide alternatives why they are better than the status quo. And I think doctor needs to kind of, you know, slow down on that a little bit. You know, pleasant to deal with at a personal level.
Yes.
I don't know why if he goes onto that platform and he gets all agitated and just go through a personal.
I think it's the Birkama water.
Yeah, I really don't understand.
When you
I know Abdullah Job says, "Oh yeah, I love doctor. Doctor has transformed his ministry. He's doing this." They will all say this. And I'm telling you, there's a consensus. They're saying, you know, he's doing that. But on the other part,
to an extent he has.
But the other part is just going after people, whoever speaks and all that stuff. You know, Ibrahim Adibas and all that stuff. I don't think you need to go that route, man. It doesn't work. You know, it really don't.
No, but the doctor also he's temperamental. When you say something, and he just lashes out, and then it's unfortunate. That's something maybe he needs to work.
He lashes out like your man who lost 6-3 on the tariffs, right? Is that what it is?
Who's that?
No, did you hear the latest? There is this video, and I think that was him. He called C-SPAN. My name is John Barron. And was complaining about the civil.
Brown Bini. If I click on him, this guy. Do you want me to click and let him in?
Who is that?
Is it Perel Brown is the name? I don't know.
Well, most the last time we did that, we had.
No, Musa, I think we need to let it go, man. It's 1:32 already over here.
Yes, we need to. I mean, especially as our prayers.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, you finish. Snowy is
for
little by little.
Blizzard. Today, the cousin says that you lose your mojo. So the next week, so let's just convert.
But you know what? I'm getting other cues from somewhere else.
Where?
You're the man. I'm getting it from my movement, folks. They're like, you're the man.
Madu.
No, Father was a movement. No, it's something.
Yeah, but again, bro, it's been a good one. It's always good when we have three of us. It's not those, you know. But so and again, thanks to Basiru Njai and BNT. The guy came. He's a very well-informed young man, no doubt about that. And we're definitely looking forward to having him again when they finally set up their party or movement or register it or put up himself as an independent
Even
candidate.
my brother agreed that today you are on the defensive, Mr. Cham. I'm going Mr. Cham. Like he's he's a very, very fair guy. But today, Mom, that understand you know.
Defensive does not necessarily connotate negativity.
No. One now. When that take down a loss some mojo, Lola don't want na come. You are always sharp on your feet. Rapid fire.
Why, Marong? Next year we need to plan this trip again, the same time.
No, man. I will not plan any trip with you, and all the cameras have to be tended and secured. That's it. With that agreement in place, then yes, we will converge. But not, nope. All right, man.
All right, man.
All right.
Ramadan Kareem.